There you go. There you go.
Sorry.
Managed to join in during the countdown. God.
Sorry about that.
Hello and welcome everyone to tonight's TokuTonic. But Mark is not here, but he is here as a PNG image that we'll be playing around with all night per the usual. So he brought us the gift of PNG. So right there, fresh off the heels of his Gotchard video, I believe that's where he pulled this one from, which we will be talking about today. So yeah, literally last night, we got the poster, we got the staff credits, we got all of that, we got story synopsis, all of that. We'll be going over that right after we talk about superhero time. And then, of course, finally, it came out. Shin Kamen Rider finally released through proper distribution channels. Internet.
Oh yeah.
And some places that got it earlier than others. I may have done a live stream on Twitch, a good 13 hours before it officially came out, but we still watched it. It was still there.
I didn't even know such thing. I wasn't there.
There was a lot of stuff going on. But first of all, joining me tonight, we've got Ash, the Oxy 360. How are you this fine morning for you?
I am doing good. I'm excited to talk about stuff. Like a lot of reveals. Like we thought it would be a slow news week, and then the Gotchard stuff just dropped out of nowhere earlier than expected. Because I was thinking it would drop next week. Watched Shin Kamen Rider like last night, but then I've also had some new arrivals. The buffer figure art just arrived. Weird that it doesn't have the display window, and then first shadow set Ranger.
Ooh, extra nice.
It's called.
I'm gonna have to see those once you get those out there. As a Die Ranger fan, like max hype for that. So. But yeah, you were saying before I cut you off.
Oh no! Like I ordered them in December, and they finally arrived. I was wondering if they were going to arrive because I keep getting one of those text message scams saying, "Oh, we need to update your address," because the package didn't arrive. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, very weird. But yeah. I think the memorial stuff is on the way next, so I'll probably show that off eventually. So that's exciting. But yeah.
I'm still avoiding trying to spend money due to my home renovation stuff going on. But yeah, and already got a $2 super chat over here. R.I.P. Raculus. R.I.P. Actually, he's not really dead. I didn't see nobody. We got $2 from Edison Kelly saying, I gotcha, Gotchard. I got the catchphrase right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's to be expected when it comes to that. You can't have a name like that and not expect something in terms of that. Cloudy, how are you this fine evening?
I'm pretty good, but if you haven't noticed, I'm also a PNG, much like Mark. No moving.
Yes, I see that. Yeah. You are struggling just like how I keep thinking my computer is going to end up struggling.
Sort of. It's actually not my computer at all. It's OBS. There was an update that I needed to install, and when I did, everything stopped working. So this is the best I got in short notice.
Sounds like OBS in a nutshell.
It is.
Yeah. Every time there's an update, it pretty much sets you back like an hour. So God forbid you start it up right before you're about to go live.
At least I got this PNG working before. That's what I was trying to do. That's why I was a little late. If you notice, I got it at like 5 seconds. Oh fuck.
So yeah, we just got through watching Blazar episode 3, another good one. Finally, we saw the debut of their mech that did as expected. It did terribly. Compared to this new monster. We did get some backstory, though, regarding what's going on with Gento's family, though, why we haven't really seen him in terms of those aspects, in terms of a flashback. So it's all still good. They still left the little tidbits of humor here and there. And then, of course, the fight was hilarious until I saw the end, and I was like, you could have just thrown that lightning bolt, like, at him from the beginning if you knew you couldn't, like, touch him? Why'd you keep touching this man? He's too hot. He's too hot.
Mm.
So yeah, I still thought it was a really good episode. Blazar is still very engaging, way more got me engaged than Decker did. So yeah. So how'd you feel about it, Ash? Since of course we were watching it at the same time.
I'm enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it. Like I'm watching it subbed when it drops, and then I'll watch the dub like either on Monday or like later today. So I'm still enjoying it. It still has my attention, and I'm in for the ride. So I'm excited to see what else it's gonna bring. I haven't jumped on the merch train yet. They haven't sold me on that yet, though.
I do still want that brace. I'm just like, once again, I'm trying to avoid spending money.
The problem is
But
the
I will get
coins
that
do
brace.
nothing.
Yeah, that's what I've been told by you and many others. It's just like, yeah, all these classic Ultraman coins, they nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, how'd you feel about the episode, Cloudy?
I thought it was pretty good. It's where I expected us to be around in episode 3, but instead of like all that, there's a little juicy little tidbit you guys might want to know about the first trailer we got of Blazar. So the person who made the trailer of Blazar, the one with like all the shadows and like the dark, like more serious toned one, that was made by Koichi Sakamoto, and he made that trailer after only seeing episode 1 of Blazar. So he didn't actually know the full or the rest of the tone of the show outside of episode 1 when he had made that trailer, which is why a lot of people thought it would be a lot.
But it was
more
the
serious.
second coming of Nexus.
Exactly. So
Okay,
that's just like a funny little tidbit.
all right. But yeah, outside of that, of course, too late now. But of course, Cloudy was advertising this last week. Sidrazar's little Blazar grunt contest thing. I submitted mine in earlier today. Cloudy got to see it ahead of things, just so I can gauge that feedback for it.
A+.
But I will say that my submission for his is I'm about to go Kingdom Hearts level of Zio Agito lore, meaning that if you want some nuggets of information, you're gonna have to actually watch Sidrazar's like video once he puts that out.
Are you gonna be like that guy, the Kingdom Hearts, where it's like if you want the full story, you got to play the one on the PSP, then the one on the PS2, then the one that came out on the Switch, and then the one that came out on the 3DS? Like,
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So it's gonna be like that. Speaking of the devil, he's in the chat right now. He says you can still submit some grunts. So if you still got some grunts, you got to submit. It's just your best Blazar impression. Send it over to Sidrazar so he can go ahead and binge through it and react to them and see how badly he's probably gonna die from laughter from several of those. So we'll see in terms of that front. So of course, let's get to it with this week's
Starts now.
very action-heavy superhero time that we got this week. Let me go ahead and hopefully my computer does not die as I keep trying to do this, but we'll see. We'll see. Show entire screen. Here we go. And of course, this week's Geats, because this week's Geats, you know, starts the episode off by getting bodied. I mean, even Mark's out here just seeing Time Daddy just getting wrecked up. And by just a regular arm buckle. I still can't get over that. It's just a regular arm buckle. But of course, once Meruba points the gun over at Neon, that's when he comes in. Those paternal instincts come in and he gets shot and bodied. And, you know, that's when Neon manages to slip through using the power of blood lubrication to be able to get through those zip ties and make her way over to try and protect from the next wave of onslaughts. But that's when the paternal instincts kick in again, and he finally uses techniques that he should have just pulled out from the beginning. So, yeah. So what's Better going to do? Walk away. Yeah. That complete. I was just like, what? Really? You're not just going to. Okay. Whatever. Like, villain's going to villain, but whatever. So we get finally the acceptance Neon has been looking for. Kind of, sort of. Just not yet. It's going to be later. It's going to be later on. So, of course, we go back to previous talking points in terms of the Michinaga Azuma redemption arc, in terms of even though he's been bodying all of those other Jamatos, yeah, there was a way to save them. There was a way to save them from that tree, according to Daichi's body language. Nothing else to go by, just Daichi's body language. But that's enough for him to go over and take that to Keiwa just to get his ass beat. So we got another fight. Like, there's a lot of fights. So now that Keiwa doesn't want to hear it anymore when it comes to, like, being told that he's wrong, he gets told once again that he's wrong when it comes to his next wish, because now he just wants his family back. That's it. That's all he wants back. It's just a family. Screw everybody else. Family. Speaking of family, Neon's mom is here to greet her, not with her fist this time, but this time, open arms. And they're off to go and see. Who's now at the hospital. And of course, they go ahead and acknowledge that they indeed have the love that Neon has been looking for this entire time. And along with that, he gives her the power of hand-me-downs, which, of course, doesn't really work for her. But, you know, we live in a society, because this is where Baraba pulls off her best Joker impression, just shooting up the hospital. But of course, we don't talk about the fact that she was shooting up the hospital, just the fact that she missed in some instances. Now, she actually hit some of those attacks, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to acknowledge that any of that happened. But that's when Neon shows up with the ID cord that does not work until suddenly it works, because Ace was there. That's when she pulls off a new henshin pose and some disintegration techniques and just beats the shit out of Bedoba, who then gets talked down by Ozma saying, hey, you look pretty miserable yourself. Isn't this what you were looking for? So, of course, that triggers the grimace, which he, of course, shatters that glass, and Neon acknowledges that Ace was the one responsible for giving her that power-up. Yeah, you know, Keiwa just stays catching L's. He asked, and nothing. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. The fact that this episode there was not a lot of substance when it comes to the story. There is a little bit here and there, but nothing too outrageous. It was mostly all action, which is why this is probably like the quickest episode summary like I could go through, because it was legit fight after fight after fight going down this week. And the action actually hit. They were shot very well. The choreography was great, except like the revolve on function that Ozma did during the fight just to avoid getting his face punched in by Keiwa was great. It was great up until he ran into the sword, but you know, there's that. Plus there's some green screen shenanigans that were done during the Neon fight, but that's of course, you know, beyond the point. They still did what they could, and you know, I still enjoyed the episode. But Cloudy, I hear you disagree with liking this episode.
Oh no. It's not the liking the episode that I disagree with, because it's an it's an all right episode. It's a fine episode. The action's good. You know, it's just the only thing I disagree with a lot this episode is that I was going to talk about it after we did like our thoughts on the episode itself, but I just don't agree with a lot of people's thoughts recently that they don't understand like where Keiwa is or why he's doing the actions he's doing. Because other than the way it's written, which I think is terrible, it does make sense what he's doing, or at least why he's doing it. Like I can understand the motive behind it, but I just think it's been written horribly.
So, care to expound? Give us the deepest Keiwa lore. Redeem this man.
I guess I'm not going to try to redeem him for it, because obviously Takahashi hates him, so he's been written like crazy. But the whole thing is like Keiwa from the beginning, like obviously there were seeds planted of him not trusting the main characters. Like he went from being used by Ace, like in the beginning, a lot just for like extra
power-ups,
boost buckles and whatnot. And he was okay with it as long as, you know, people got helped at the end of the day, right? But then you got towards the end where Geats like just makes a world, right? He makes this world. He promises that everyone's going to be happy. And bam, his sister dies. Like that's the first thing that happens immediately. And the dude's pissed and he's angry. He's really like depressed and he just keeps himself in his room. So what? What did his friends that he's been building up for the past couple seasons do? Nothing. No one visits him except for the weird frog dude, only to rile him up and get him, you know, stirred up for the fight. Like I think the only people he talks to is like Neon, and that's right after he already starts, you know, doing some bad stuff. You know what I mean? And then he takes out his anger on like Daichi and Buffa, and he's not even allowed to kill the guy who killed his sister, even though Ace didn't do anything about Buffa killing a bunch of regular civilians like for the past who knows how many days. But the moment he wants to take revenge on the one person who's like actually at fault for most of this, no, that's too far. That's crossing the line, right? Clear.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so then he has to go. So like this is basically like the 5 stages of like depression and how you get over it, because that was his depression, that was his anger. The next up is like the bargaining. So he made a deal to with Jito to get his family back, right? Fucking blows up in his face. His family just gets murdered immediately, and he goes to them. He's like, I tried this. Why isn't anything happening? And guess what? It's his fault again, because he didn't think this through, because he's just too emotional and too much in the present at the moment. So then he has to resort to the next phase of like depression, which is denial, and just deny everything that's going on around him. Like whether or not he has to deny the fact that he can bring his family back, whether or not he can deny the fact that it's his fault or not, or any involvement in what's going on around him. He's just denying everything. So until and then the final one has to come, which is acceptance, which he has to accept his involvement. He has to accept that his family's gone. He has to accept that this is the world he's in now. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, because of how it's written, it comes across really badly, like really badly. But like, I understand what they're trying to do, and it makes sense. It's just they haven't done it well. If that makes sense.
See, but doesn't it suck that you have to literally look between the lines and try and like figure everything out yourself in terms of what the writer's trying to interpret, and as opposed to like the writing itself to be able to show it?
Oh no, that's what I mean. Like that's what I said. Like this is like what's happening, like the events themselves that are happening could be fine. The problem is they're being so poorly writ and paced that it's hard to understand what's going on for the character, and it's then hard for the audience to understand what the character is going through, or even why he's making these decisions. If you really slow down and look into it, which not a lot of people are going to do, and I understand that, but it does make sense. It's just not done well, which is all I can say. I know this was a pretty long and roundabout way of saying like
it sounds like a Twitter thread trying to redeem a character.
Yeah, I know
that's liking right now.
Yeah, I know that's what it sounds like, but I don't know.
I remember last year seeing all the ones trying to definitely redeem Daiji, and I was like, you can't redeem this man for me.
My only thing, like, I'm not trying to redeem him as a character, because obviously he's being played by everyone. He's being used by everyone. It's just that I did do like the extra step to just look into it, just a little bit. I didn't even do that much digging. I just like looked up the 5 stages of depression, and bam, he basically followed every single beat in order. And I was like, so that's what they're trying to do, which is pretty, because he's going through depression and loss, and I get that, but it's paced and shown really poorly. And I think it could have definitely been done better and shown off better, because it could work. It definitely could work, because like what I described in a vacuum makes sense. Could work. Definitely fine. It's just what we're given and what we're presented hasn't lived up to what it could be. You know what I mean?
So you're saying you personally would not hand Keiwa any L's because life is already doing that for him?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's my long about way of saying that whoever's writing the show knows how, like, what concepts could work to make like a good arc, like on their own. They're just not capable of pulling it off.
Well, great. I'm still gonna roast this man during next week's review. So.
Oh no, you can roast him as much as you want. I don't care about that. I'm just trying to like say like there's good under all the crap.
Okay. All right. Ash, what did you think about the episode, and do you feel that Cloudy is right in his assessment of Keiwa?
So the episode I enjoyed had some really cool fight scenes, but on Cloudy's assessment of Keiwa's a guy he was very cheerful, very optimistic at the start of the series, and this is a character that's just been beaten down by the world and everything around him. Like, he's slowly, like, his first time meeting Ace, like, he trusted him and then he got betrayed, and leading up to it, like, wait, I lost my yeah, like leading up to it, like he's gone through so much, and I might have to rewatch the series and also look up like the 5 stages of depression and watch him go
This
through
face
that.
is definitely one.
Yeah, this is yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I feel like Kayla is going to be one of those characters that people either do essays on about like the arc that he goes through, or like what you said earlier, they're going to do big Twitter threads defending his actions and justifying his actions and why he did them at this point in the series.
At this point, like the only way that I can see him getting redeemed is if they make the final villain the boost buckle manifested into a monster, and then that's Kayla's biggest hurdle, and then he just beats it up. Then I would literally like take everything I've said about this show back and regret those actions afterwards, but still do that just to go ahead and just acknowledge the fact that finally he overcame his boost demons.
Maybe.
But in terms of the actual episode, Cloudy, how did you feel about it?
Oh no, it was pretty good. Like I'd say it's a solid episode. We got a lot more of Neon's family arc and all that stuff. I think that dynamic actually works pretty well and got paid off in this episode decently enough. The fight scene was pretty good. I just don't like how they brushed off her re-entry into like the game, because they made a big deal that like she couldn't just rejoin the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything else was mostly okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that Ace could just, make a whole driver and new ID core
and
out
belt
of nowhere
and buckle.
Yeah.
Just,
then,
but not for Kayla.
And then just change that ID core to suit someone else. It's just like, oh, wow, okay. I mean, I get it. His powers are growing. He's figuring out the powers type of deal. But it's still one of those of like, once you figure it out, why? No, the options were still there. You could have helped out Kayla. Real quick, Graf did donate earlier. Can't stay tonight, but I will be catching the VOD. Have fun with Gotchard. I'll be with Mark catching all the dubs at San Diego Comic-Con. Not really. Yeah. Man, there's a storm that literally just started outside. I guess it didn't like me mentioning San Diego Comic-Con.
Guess not. Oh, right. I will say that one thing I sold you on Discord, though, and I guess now as well. I do think like they could have framed that last bit with Buffa a lot better, because that cinematography made it look like he didn't, like he was already running and charging to him, which is why he stabbed back with the sword, but it didn't look that way because of the way they shot it.
Yeah, that's the issue that I had with that fight. It really just seems like, okay, the sword's been there the whole time, and now you run to it. It's like if you rearrange those shots, it would work better, but
sadly they didn't. Oh, well.
Whoever directed that, you got too hung up on the revolve on functionality, which was top tier for that portion. Everything else was it's okay. But yeah, Alzuma's definitely reached secondary writer status. If he wasn't there already, he's there now. The show keeps trying to redeem him for all his actions that he did in the past. I guess everybody forgets all the shit that he's done, but
so many villainous things, and he's just been forgiven for it.
Meanwhile, Kayla's just out here like, oh, you bitch. Why are you being such a fucking bitch? It's just like nonstop when it comes to that. I will say that once again, the fantasy buckle, as much as the suit is, even though of course we know it is reused assets thrown together, the fact that it's just the upper body in itself, I'm just like, man, they really just did slim pickings for Neon, making it just upper body and that's it. They could have at least done full body or something like that to at least make it seem better than it is.
I think
for that aspect.
I think they're saving like the bottom half for maybe using something else,
or maybe it's for Toei Tokusatsu, fan club special thing that they'll be having.
Since Mark's not here, I have to mention it. Definitely a lot of Kitty Pryde power references in this episode with the way Neon fought.
Do you think that's intentional or not?
It's really hard to tell. I would like to think it's intentional because at least that way it shows that like Toei pays attention to like Marvel. DC, Marvel comics or
Marvel.
anything like that.
Yeah, it's
I know.
Marvel, not
I'm
DC.
really tired. Sorry, but yeah, because it would be nice like to have a Shadow Cat reference in Toku. I think that would be pretty sick.
All right. So Nago is the fourth. No, I would say Nago's the third. The tertiary writer, just because as of right now, it really seems like Keiwa. I guess maybe their plan from the beginning was to make him the villain, and they just did it terribly.
Oh yeah.
Because I was pointing out while looking at the intro of Geats that there's a point in the intro where they show like Keiwa like turning his back. It's in the very beginning, but then his eyes gets covered up by Sumuri before she does like her gestures, kind of implying that he's blind to everything that's about to happen, or that type of thing. So it's one of those of like, if you look at the symbolism of the opening, sometimes they try and pay off what happens in those openings in the show. So I really think that that's their way to try and pay off that portion of it. But of course, we're not here trying to analyze the openings anymore because Evil Iki wasn't really a thing. But
Can we let them die, please?
we don't talk about Evil Iki. Any other thoughts on Geats before we move on to King-Ohger this week?
Did Deoxy say anything about Geats?
You did.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I mean, it being mostly like an action-heavy episode, there's not really much to discuss when it comes
Yeah.
to it. So
There was one story.
Yep. All right. So on this week's King-Ohger, Raculus is getting married. Wait, what? That's really how they start. This confused me in the beginning because I'm just like, wait, he was literally like, Gira just challenged this man. What is going on? So yeah.
Whiplash.
Yeah, just total whiplash from the end of last week's episode to this week's episode in terms of them getting married. And Suzume's all about it. But you know who's not about it? Dubowski. Man, I swear, this man's faces are like memes on themselves. It's just like best reaction shots ever. So, what? And here's that guy. We got that guy back. Look at that. It's great stuff. Even Mark's enjoying it. Mark's enjoying this wedding so good. So, what happened? Well, because Gira declared trial by combat and he's not the king, the roles have reset back to where they were. So it gave Raculus some more time to try and do some shit to try and like maintain in power, which is why he went ahead and sped run the wedding. And Gira goes back to jail because he's technically still, a fugitive. So Gira done fucked up. That's really the whole reason why we had that hard reset. But of course, even though Raculus is back in power, he only has the crown that he managed to snag back from Gira because Dubowski has the lance. But he plays it off. But when he insists that, hey, now that your sister's life is literally in my hands, you better give me that lance back. So he goes ahead and grabs the lance with the assistance of Jeremy. And Jeremy, of course, snitches about the plan to everybody else. So we now join Mario, who is here after being missing the last couple of episodes, trying to get Raculus to just go ahead and get a move, especially given that everybody else seems to be leaving his side. But of course, Raculus doesn't take shit from people that just leave their post like that, exposing that man's undies. And also around the same time, I don't know, give or take, a couple minutes or so, it seems like Kamajim is getting the same kind of treatment from Deathnarak. Clearly, it's not a coincidence at all that these are happening kind of simultaneously. I'm just saying, pure coincidence. So now it's time for, and this, once again, this episode is very action heavy, just like Geats. So this is going to be quick because we're back at the scene of the duel once again. And of course, Raculus busts out the crown and has the clear lead for the time being. And on the other side of things, Well, because Jeremy went ahead and snitched, the other kings are going to go ahead and try and get that lance away from the Bowski before he gives it to Raculus. But it turns out to be Jeremy rocking the fit. And he actually pulls it off pretty well, I got to say.
Yeah.
Looks good.
But then when the Bugnarok attack, there comes in Mario to take that lance and go ahead and take that thing to Raculus. So on the other side of the spectrum, we have the crowd, which is honestly my favorite part of this episode was actually the crowd. Because I do wish that this happened a little bit more so and it felt a little bit more organic. Because, of course, last week when they had the scene, it was like just a few observers going on. But they really should have leaned into it a little bit more. Would have loved to see more of this. But the fact that half the audience started splitting towards Gira because of his actions last week, got Hat Guy feeling some kind of way.
Nice.
Yep. Well, let me get Mark out the way here because, of course, there we go. So Gira manages to turn the tides in the fight all on his own, managing to actually snatch away the crown away from Raculus. But, of course, Raculus ain't having none of that. Let me move Mark again. There we go. And he starts to snap because... Of course he will. Like he's had it all, and then Gira's just out here, fucking everything up. But then the bugs attack, and in comes Mario, ready to impale Gira until it turns out being a trap. And he turns out to be Kamajim. Anyone shocked? You shocked? No.
Didn't we have
Really?
this discussion like a couple episodes ago?
Didn't we have this discussion like episode 2?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were like, all right, so Mario and Luigi, one of them's got to be something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we were legit discussing this like very, very early into the show. So when this reveal happened, I was like, "Oh, okay, great, thank you, for just telling us. Great, all right." But Raculus didn't know, so he's actually shocked. This reminds me of the meme of Arthur from the show.
Oh my
Arthur,
god!
with the
Yeah,
fist.
it's
This is the miraculous equivalent of the Arthur hand. Gotta make that a meme, guys. Everybody, get on that train. Get on the Raculus fist train. Not
like that,
kind of
please.
train. Yeah, exactly. Not that kind of fist train. Not that kind of fist train.
Oh.
So, of course, the duel's got to continue, so the rest of them try to handle the bugs, while Raculus and Gira continue their duel. But Raculus legit starts to snap at the entire ordeal, playing into the bit and completely saying what Gira was trying to have him admit to begin with, but owning it to the crowd. And that's where we get Hat Guy Redemption Arc.
Let's go.
That guy finally decides that Raculus is the evil one, and he joins Team Gira. So, in comes Dabowski with the lance, and Gira goes ahead and beats the ever-loving shit out of Raculus. But, of course, he drops his Oja Caliber 0. It's still seen on the field. And we didn't see no body, so he's...
Yeah.
He ain't dead.
He's alive. He's alive. And
He's
now...
coming back.
Gira is the king. I will say that this episode was indeed enjoyable. I will just say that the obviously the twist was we all saw it coming. So it's like when it happened, it was just like, oh, okay, at least you told us now. It's all right. And I feel that the first fight with Gira and Raculus was definitely a lot more a lot better shot, a lot better choreographed than this one in general. Plus, throw in when they threw in Inferno the first time that we heard it with the lyrics thrown in there. That was an A+ fight. While this one just seemed it was all right, but it was nothing like the previous fights that we had before. So that's where a lot of the slippage comes into play when it comes to that. Still enjoyed the episode, but it's not anywhere near like my tops when it comes to episodes for this one. Ash, how did you feel about this episode?
I enjoyed it as well. Really good fight scenes. We finally wrapped up this story arc with Raculus being no longer the king, And I am wondering where the episodes are going to go moving forward because the movie's coming out soon. And one of my speculations is we're going to get some sort of like, probably not some plot centric episodes because they were probably filming the movie at this time. So they want to use those assets for that. So I feel like the pacing might slow down for a couple of episodes until maybe Gates is over. Because that's what happened with Don Brothers, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, what's probably going to happen is we'll get the recap episode, obviously, during the last episode of Geats. We do have sports interrupting superhero time. I think next week, if I remember correctly. I know we will have a superhero time interruption coming up in the next week or so. So that's going to also throw things in there. But yeah, continue.
I feel like the pacing might slow down for the show, so I wonder what everyone's opinion will be on that when we get some possibly like average episodes moving forward. But we'll see what happens. The twist, it was a thing because we were predicting it in the end. It's the typical they're never in the room at the same time that meme because you didn't have Kajimin and Bushra, I believe, in the same room. Yeah. So we've got that going on. But overall, like really cool fight scene, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen moving forward.
Yeah, the preview of it definitely looks like next week is going to be a very goofy episode as they try to give Gira the test to see if he's worthy of being king. While all that kind of stuff. But there was something that someone did mention in my comment section for this episode, and that was Suzume did get married to Raculus, so doesn't that make her reigning queen as well?
Yeah, it would.
Uh-oh.
Next in line for the throne, I
guess. It would be the brother, wouldn't it be?
It would technically be the brother, but that's another thing that.
But she'd still be in line at some point.
Yeah.
So there's all of that possibility as well, and I don't know if the show is gonna address it or not, but we'll
she
see.
Could remarry, guys, because he's presumed dead.
I mean, who's she gonna remarry? Gira?
Possibly, who knows?
I don't think she's got the hots for Gira like she's got the hots for Raculus. You know, that Stockholm syndrome be hidden strong.
Yeah, but we still don't know if that's real or not.
I still think it's Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right, Cloudy, what do you think about this week's episode?
Speaking of previews, when we saw the preview for this last week, it definitely gave me different impression on how the fight was going to go. Because this week, Raculus started out with the crown. At the beginning, it definitely seemed more one-sided toward Raculus beating up Gira than I thought. But, obviously Gira pulled through. So that fighting aspect was pretty good. I like the music that they decided to do. We didn't get an opening, so they used the opening in the beginning of the fight, along with Inferno in like two other kind of ways, which was pretty good. Overall, obviously no one was surprised. Kamajin, hey, he was there the whole time.
Yeah,
that's a big one. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. I don't think this was better than the first time they fought because, oddly enough, I think the first time they fought had a little bit more emotional impact for me than this time, which is weird considering they've been through a lot more. So I don't know. Maybe part 3, the final fight, we'll have something. You know what I'm thinking?
I don't know. Since Gira keeps pulling memories when they come to him, I was hoping that he would bring up another memory that they had, as children once again, but that didn't happen this week.
Oh yeah, funny thing about their flashbacks as children. If you notice their hairs, Raculus has silver highlights in his hair, and Gira has red highlights in his hair as their kid. So I kind of like that touch. Like they always knew one was going to be the red one, the silver one was going to go to the other one.
Which is another thing, since they acknowledged that Okawagata Oger is apparently an official Silver Ranger. And I don't know how I feel about that because I don't see anything silver in his suit. So
fair. But yeah, other than that, I thought the episode was pretty strong. I wouldn't call this like one of the better, like the best episodes of the series so far, but it wasn't weak by far. It was pretty good. And I think that I agree. If they are gonna like take some downtime for the movie and not have too many plot focused episodes, the thing that's been carrying the show for me so far is just the character interactions. Like the characters are great. I love
Yeah.
seeing how they interact with each other. So even if we get some, episodes that don't progress the plot forward and we just have them communicating with each other, I think the character building we'll have there will be better for the long run, of the story, rather than just having plot keep moving forward for the sake of having the plot keep moving forward. So if we have time for there to be more downtime to develop the characters, I'm all for it, rather than just progressing forward.
Now, the big thing is, we obviously know Raculus is going to come back. Now,
Yeah.
how would y'all like to see him come back? I'm going to give my thoughts first, because the thing is, look, I've been with this theory that, like, maybe something's going to happen to the Bosuke. Maybe he's going to, like, end up getting done in, and, Suzume is going to end up taking the mantle from him of becoming, like, the new Hachioger. And the thing is, right now, if I were Raculus, the Bosuke is the one that betrayed him the most. Like, outside of Kamajin, like, the Bosuke would be number 2 on my hit list, because he betrayed this man at every fucking corner. So, like, I'm just waiting for him to come back, and the first thing he does is just impale the Bosuke in, like, a very, like, emotional scene. Like, it'd be crazy. Like, that's how I see him making his, like, return. Just getting his revenge, essentially, because him giving the lance to Gira did end up, helping turn the tide, even though he was already, like, on the losing front, but it more so did because it gave Gira that extra power that he needed to thrust him over the edge. So I'm just like, that would be the best way to continue his villain arc and just completely make him go fully off the deep end. But first, before getting y'all's thoughts, we do got a quick super chat. Bird of the End says, Raculus's king form looks incomplete compared to Gira. It's something I noticed the more I look at it. Now, the thing is, like, we did point out, obviously, the color scheming with it, the fact that it actually does have the gray as opposed to the gold completely on there. But then there is a little bit more that his suit has that Gira's version lacks, such as, like, the additional antenna that's right there on the visor, along with the vinyl that's by the visor, that type of stuff that they have on there. So they both each have their different trade-offs for it. So I don't really think it's fully, like, incomplete. It's just a different stylized version of the way that it is. Why that is, who knows? Maybe they'll give us an explainer later on, maybe not. But yeah. Ash, what's your theory on how would you want Raculus to return?
I like what you said. I feel like he probably will betray Dabowski, because Dabowski overthrew his kingdom, if I remember correctly. So what if Raculus ends up doing that to him in the end?
Ooh.
I mean, he could burn Tofu to the ground. There's nothing more that Dabowski loves than his kingdom. So
more than, like, the food and, like, the garden and stuff.
Yeah. But I feel like if Raculus does return, it's going to be, like, either in the 30s or like in the late 30s or early 40s, and he'll probably make his, like, return with a new, like, I'm guessing he's going to have, like, either some kind of new form, or there's going to be something going on with him. But this, like, he's going to come back within the next couple of episodes, and it's going to feel like a build up to his return. Like, we're just going to be wondering, when is Raculus going to show up? And I feel like since we didn't see the body, he's probably going to make some grand return eventually. It'd be cool if we actually sort of see him throughout episodes, like him sort of, like, picking himself back up after he fell from that cliffside. But we'll have to wait and see what happens.
I get a second Raculus special.
Yeah, like
just his journeys after,
I mean, I'd watch it.
Episode.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I would say that he would come back as the Silver Ranger, but honestly, while you were, like, listing your theory, I just figured out in my mind why a Silver Ranger would not work in King-Ohger, because he'd reflect the green screen.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why they couldn't make him silver. So I'm just like, oh, that's why. I just had, like, a brain blast, the kind that Gira doesn't have, just to figure out why he was silver.
You're a stupid brain blast.
Cloudy, how do you think Raculus will return?
I'm gonna go like a little ridiculous with mine, just because it's more fun that way. I think personally. So much like like just to reference another Toku, like you guys remember Build when one of those characters like died, quote unquote, he fell off a bridge and they brought him back as like a cyborg. I'm not expecting them to like go full cyborg with Raculus because I don't think they have that advanced technology, at least in Shukanam or where he fell. But since he fell right next to the Bugnarok pit, I'm thinking there might be some severe damage done to his body
Oh,
that maybe they'll repair him by turning him into part Bugnarok as he does
part
his repair.
Bugnarok, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone was speculating that he was part Bugnarok when we first like saw him with how he was acting.
Yeah, and that could lead into some more conflict with like Jeremy, as he'd be another king of in between, sort of, so to speak.
Even though we haven't seen his bug companion in episodes.
Oh no, we have not. I think the last time we saw him was when Tarantula Knight not Tarantula Knight debuted. Tarantula the Mech debuted.
Yeah, so it's been a good bit in terms of that front. I just don't want Raculus to come back as comedic relief. Like, I will be completely devastated if they pull the comedic relief route where former
No.
villain comes back is now
Amnesia
the butt of
route
the
would
joke.
screw it over for me. If they bring him back with the amnesia
Oh
route,
my God, I would hate-
God, I swear
I
to
would
God,
hate
I
that.
just thought of that. I do not want that.
I
I wouldn't mind him
Okay.
having an amnesia in the side story, but not for his return.
Yeah, like something will just jog his memories back or something.
Yeah.
Maybe while he's down hidden, maybe he'll find the one that actually is responsible for the fury of the gods.
You think is that going to be like a movie or something, or because that's too important to have like an aside or a movie or something? It's got to be in the main show, right?
Yeah, that's got to be in the main show. Like, there's too much going on in terms of that. But if Raculus is the one that ends up finding the person responsible for Fury of the Gods, then I would think maybe they've got the tech necessary to maybe get Raculus a upgrade or something like that.
True. I only say that because the last time something plot relevant happened in the mainline Toku show, it happened off screen in a movie, and it really pissed me off. And that was Double.
Yeah, this is why I kind of fear these movies coming out, because if they start alluding, like Geats especially, because that's one thing that I like. Next week's episode looks like, we didn't talk about it when we were talking Geats, but next week's episode preview looks like it sets up the film. I'm really gonna hate it if the episode after that one, like Buffa's already got his new form or shit like that, and it's just like, well, what happened? Well, you got to watch the film.
Yep.
What? I'll be extremely mad if they do something like that.
Because we won't get that film till December, guys.
Yep. So, so next up on the docket is what probably everybody's been waiting for. It's GOTCHARD. We finally got it.
Looking shiny.
Mark is
The thunder outside is definitely not liking it. Either that or they were clapping along too.
I think it's cheering, It's bam.
So we finally got a proper look with the poster on it. Full on logo, everything going on here. More cards to witness. We got a motorcycle. We got all that. We've got a school
rooftop
round.
Yeah. It's school, baby.
Oh my God.
We're back to
This
school
is-
because it's airing
this is-
September 3rd.
This is the last thing I wanted. Like, there were already like rumors, speculation that it was going to be a school setting, and I was just like, if it's a school setting, I'm probably going to be hard out.
I need to know why you and John don't like school settings. Please let me know.
Look, I just don't feel that it's a proper like setting for Kamen Rider in general. And the thing is, it's like, I found Forze to be incredibly mid. I didn't find it bad. I didn't find it good. I just found it, it's all right. It's all right. And this is giving me vibes, especially if you saw the short video that they released of him doing his pose. It kind of gave me that vibe when he just goes up like that first and then comes out. And I'm like, oh no, when Forze Henshin's, he goes like that. And I'm just like,
I'm really hoping he's a teacher. Please be a teacher.
So we got some quick synopsis going on here. So let me pull this up. Okay, so the key to the story of Kamen Rider Gotchard is the artificial life form known as Kemi, short for, obviously, alchemy, created by collecting the best alchemy techniques. There are 101 Kemis, which are life forms made to intimidate all things that exist in this world, such as grasshoppers and SLs. I don't know what SLs stands for, but they were stored in a card called a Ride Chemi card. However, who should have been those should have been carefully stored, end up jumping out of their cards and were released all at once. Sounds a lot like Blade. So I guess Bark's all in terms of that front. The main character, Hotaro Ichinose, is entrusted with Kamen Rider Gotchard's transformation belt, the Gotchard driver, who accidentally gets caught up in the incident. He is given a mission. Hotaro's catchphrase is gotcha. This is the English slang term for I did it. The curtain rises on the legendary Kamen Rider. That is pretty much the quick Google translations of what we have that was listed on the information piece for this. So, yeah. That's essentially it. We got the Kemi monster, so essentially it's very similar to Blade in the aspect of, I guess, they're monsters, and then after they're defeated, they're probably turned into the cards, which just build onto the arsenal and things like that. We do have some more rumors and speculation that still throw credence to the fact that the third writer for this season is still Decade, whether or not he's an AR World variant of Decade or original Decade. You know, it's up in the air in terms of that. So there's that type of thing.
You think they did this on purpose because what's happening next year with Blade?
I mean, it's definitely possible that this could end up becoming a proper Blade crossover, especially if they end up having a similar backstory to the undead from Blade.
But there's one thing in this the poster that I love and that no one's pointed out yet, and I really like it. There's no other riders.
It was there was the Gates one as well.
Yeah, there's no other riders. It's just him. So I'm really hoping low rider count this season.
Well, the thing is, the rumor already says 3. But that's
like three's like you can three's like it's okay. You can expect 3.
Yeah, but that's 3 like early into the show. You know what happens once we start getting like rewrites and things like that going on. We get another revise situation.
But are they saying that the 3 will premiere early into the show? Is there like confirmed?
If the rumors are going on now, that means that they're probably like within the scripting phase of at least 4 episodes so far.
I am really hoping that,
and if that's the case, that means that we probably get 3 writers by like 4 episodes, 5 episodes in.
It's the one thing I'm hoping for. If we can keep a low rider count, please.
I mean, that's my entire thing. But then again, you know, Forza had a low rider count, and look at how I feel about that show.
Yeah, but that show was great.
Agree to disagree when it comes to that front. But we do also have staff for this.
Well, so this is going to be an interesting bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So in terms of the head writers, we actually have 2. We have dual writers for this one. The first one is Keiichi Hasegawa, who is most known for being the head writer for Ultraman Nexus and Ultraman Ginga. They've done writing credits for a bunch of Ultraman shows, but the ones that they were actually the head writers on were those 2. Guess what other writer show he did some writing on?
Forza. Yay. I will say this: Ginga and Nexus are pretty good.
So they've done some writing credits when it comes to Double, Forza, Drive, Ghost, and Saber. When it comes to all that, they also did some writing when it comes to Cutie Honey to Live. But once again, it's like that's writing credits, but not head writing credits because, of course, Cutie Honey to Live was a Toshiki Noe show. he was the head writer for that one. So it's like those different things in terms of anime. SSSS Gridman and Dyna Zenon. He was the head writer for those. I haven't seen those animes, so no idea in terms of that. The next writer is Hiroki Uchida, who was the head writer for Ultraman X and Ultraman Orb. So these two guys are pretty much Ultraman guys.
Yes. Those are actually some pretty good seasons. So, although I know apparently the audience doesn't like Ginga, apparently.
So it's like it's weird because of course in the case of King-Ohger, they decided to get Kamen Rider like side writing staff to do King-Ohger, while here they're completely going outside of the Toei like writing staff. Well, I mean these guys have some writing credits to their name on there, but nothing head-wise, but majority has been Ultraman related things. So that's kind of an interesting thing that they're doing there.
I know one of
when
these
it comes
guys,
to the writing.
I know one of these guys did a couple episodes of Saber. Specifically, one did episode 32 of Saber, which is peak Chef's Kiss. So
I know one of these guys also did the majority of all the Revi side specials that no one really likes.
Maybe it'll balance out.
Like Juga Ortega, one of them was responsible for, as well as the Girls Remix special. Yeah, so
my only problem so far with the fact that these guys are Ultraman writers is that Ultraman tends to be, especially those seasons that you just listed, those are like relatively short seasons, except, you know, Ginga had Ginga S, which was like 13 more episodes, which wasn't that much more. And those are basically all action. So I don't know how well they're going to handle like nearly 40 plus episode, you know, beast of like that is Kamen Rider. So.
And that's also my concern, because it seems like with Rider recently, and we can argue King-Ohger once we get to the end of it to see if maybe there's some padding that ends up happening there. But at least Rider in general, it seems like the writing staff has a plan early on, but then because of the episode length, they pad things out, stretch things in. And then you have studio interference in terms of like priorities for toys and all that stuff. So having writers that are used to a smaller condensed season, just that we got to see how it plays out.
So. I gotta point out to I think it's Tanuk in chat. I don't know if there's any more to that. Unless yes, Ginga S was good, but that was 13 episodes they added on to Ginga post the series, which you know that it. Like I said, all the shows that they've worked on are good. Like they're pretty good shows. It's the problem is all the shows they worked on are 25 episodes, 13 episodes, 22 episodes, and I think Nexus was the longest one, and not by much. So it's there whether or not they can handle making a show all the way up to 40 in good quality and, you know, properly spacing out arcs. Which I believe in the writers. I just don't. It's you know, it's different, so I don't know how they'll handle it.
So now comes the part where Cloudy, you might start getting a little upset. So the action director, so the one in charge of choreography,
Koichi Sakuma,
is Hirofumi Fukuzawa.
Okay.
And what they're known for is Sentai action fights.
Okay.
Everything that they've done has been Sentai related since they became an action director. Everything from Go Busters onward has been, with the exception of King-Ohger, like he stopped with Don Brothers. But everything from Go Busters through Don Brothers, he's been the action director of. And if there's anything you've seen with all those shows is that they have a lot of suit actors on screen at the same time. This is a guy that knows how to juggle a lot of actors in a scene when it comes to fights, which is
the
something
PNG, that the PNG may not be moving, but I've stood up from my chair. I'm walking away now. Excuse me. Goodbye.
Now I will say the only saving grace to this is before he was an action director, he was a suit actor, and he was a suit actor from Live Man all the way through GOTCHARD. He literally stopped at GOTCHARD and became an action director literally at the season right after GOTCHARD. Not only that, but he also did some suit acting for side characters when it comes to the Kamen Rider series, but in terms of like main writers, no, because this was the guy that did most of the Red Sentais from Live Man up through GOTCHARD.
What was after GOTCHARD again? Was it GOTCHARD or?
Before GOTCHARD was GOTCHARD. After GOTCHARD was Go Busters, which is where he made his action director debut.
Gotcha. I was only curious.
Yeah, so that's the thing there. It's like he's only done action directing when it comes to Sentai, and that's what has me thinking that there's going to be possibly a lot of characters on screen during these fights.
Maybe they could all be monsters, they don't have to be writers.
So Gotchard fights 2 monsters at the same time.
I'll be down for that. Yeah,
I mean, it would be a change of dynamic if he did do something like that.
Plus, we know there's going to be at least a secondary writer. I'm fine with so, and at least a third writer probably.
So there's that front, and then no one really too notable outside of that, because the actual director of the show, the one in charge of the general direction that we have there, has been just doing virtually so many other shows from Sentai and Kamen Rider, but directing just gives you a slight tone of how things are going to end up going in terms of the dynamics. But they were literally the head director, Gingaman. Apparently they were the head director for Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Agito, Ryuki, Fies, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, Shibuya 15, Den-O, Kiva, Decade, Double, O's, Akiba Ranger, Gaim, Drive, Build, Z-O, and Don Brothers were where he was the head director for those shows going into Gotchard. So he's got a lot of experience, and there's a lot of versatility when it comes to that. Definitely.
There's some good stuff there, too.
Yeah. But that's just, directing in terms of that front. But of course, directors work with what the writers hand them in terms of things. So there's that front. I can tell you right now that my hype for Gotchard is probably at like a -3 right now.
Oh God. You're hoping it doesn't release? Oh Lord.
Like, I am completely not hyped for this show, and it's the school aesthetic. It's just an instant turn off for me.
Is it the cards again as well?
Writer. Cards again, even though people were arguing about space before, but it's just like it's still Forte technically because we're doing school. What
do you think of the bike?
The bike.
No. Go ahead, sorry.
The bike is weird because I think it's like the same model bike that they use for Decades bike.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think Decade's going to be in the show, because they're like, it's the same bike but recustomized for Decade.
Yeah, and you know what? This bike's here, but we're probably only going to see it like 4 times.
I think 1 time maybe.
We'll see it 2 times in person, 2 times in CG.
Oh, okay.
So that's my expectations there. But yeah, if this ends up being like, because I think one of the other side rumor things is that he is a schoolboy, and he studies alchemy already. In terms of, and of course, for those of you that don't know what alchemy is, it's transmutation, trying to turn like lead into gold, that type of thing. Watch Fullmetal Alchemist; you'll get a general idea of the concept. So we'll see. Really, this is gonna be one of those that the first, second episode better hook me, or I might start doing weekly Ultraman reviews instead, like that type of thing.
So I don't know. I'm just saying, this is like a lot of perfect storm of things that you typically don't like, or at least enjoy in your like Toku writer. So yes. What if this is the one? Like, if this just somehow pulls it all together and makes you like it, like I really am hoping.
I mean, we'll see. I'm not looking forward to opening up booster packs in the beginning of every single one of my reviews in front of the cameras.
But that's gonna be so fun.
I was like, I know I have some Pokemon cards near me. Yeah, I'll be like, hey guys, so we got the latest GOTCHARD cards. Let's pull these back just to make sure that we get the secret rares in the back
Gotchard
here.
unboxing
see what we
videos
got.
are gonna do crazy, aren't they?
You know everybody's gonna do it. You know
Yeah.
everyone's gonna do it. Everybody that does weekly reviews, if you're on camera, you're probably gonna be like, all right, let's see what we got in my GOTCHARD booster pack today. All right. Nothing good. I got 40 of those already. All right. You know,
Guys,
that's
boys, we hit it. We got the super shiny Ultra Deluxe.
Yep,
We got the
it.
hollow.
Oh yeah, we got the hollow boys. I mean, yeah, even the chemis, they're like basically homunculus, right? As well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, my hype's pretty low. Ash, how are you feeling about GOTCHARD? I mean, I bet everybody's gonna be more positive than I am, but yeah.
We'll see what happens. Like most of these stuff that you guys listed, I don't know of. Well, I've seen some of their work, but I really don't like pay too much attention to the stuff. We'll see what happens. I'll wait for the trailer. It sounds like an interesting concept. I just want to see it executed when the trailer drops within like the next month or so.
Yeah, so we actually do have the press conference date. Just so you know, the press conference actually does drop Tuesday the 8th, Wednesday the 9th for some folks.
Yeah.
So it'll be that Tuesday night in terms of things. So yeah, just so you know, that's when we're gonna get the trailer, is that day. But yeah, you were saying before I cut you off?
Oh no, like I think I'll wait for the trailer to come out. It does sound like it's got some interesting concepts, but we'll see what happens. Like school setting, we'll see what happens. Hopefully the characters aren't too annoying. I haven't seen much of Forza, but we'll see how the setting goes and the concept goes moving forward. And maybe this will be a rider that I won't cover weekly, or I'll just watch it at my own pace.
Oh my god. Real quick, you got a super chat over here. Blah blah something says, I forget, didn't Time Kabuto predict you wouldn't like the next Rider season after Geats?
Yeah, he did.
He did. He said I would be so bored that we just go time traveling back in time just to fuck shit up. That might be the bit. That might be the reoccurring bit, and it's like it's self-made prophecy right there. Self-made prophecy.
Premium Sentai, but
Toy Biger.
Toy Biger.
Yeah, Premium Sentai Toy Biger. Which I ended up not buying anything from. Actually, yeah, I got the King-Ohger, so I spent money already on it. So it King-Ohger has gotten my money.
The girl of the week for Gotchard.
The girl of the week. Got to be careful with that one. They in school, so
Yeah.
no, ain't falling for that trap. Not at
No
all.
waifu wars for this one.
Nope.
No waifu wars.
Unless
Y'all
it's
better
teachers.
watch out.
Unless they're the
Yes.
teachers.
Unless it's the teachers, but I really just hope that the teachers aren't the enemies this time, or at least the heads of like the evil team again. Like, let's not. Cloudy, where's your hype levels at?
I'm at a firm 4.5, I'd say.
Okay.
Like I here's my thing. I'm mostly just trying to sell the show to you guys, just so that you actively watch it, because I'm going to.
Yeah, I get you.
But the whole thing is, all I want is a good rider show at the end of the day. And if it's bad, I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it because I have to. But if it's bad, I'm not gonna enjoy it. And I just want to enjoy a Reiwa season of Rider from start to finish, or at least for majority of it. So all I'm looking for, Gotchard, is that you be good. Okay, that's all I ask, is just be good.
You must be Sononi years
Yeah,
old to
yeah,
the
I'm
Waifu
saying.
Wars. Oh my god,
Sononi years old to enter Waifu
Sononi
Wars.
years old. Let's go. Let's get that. Like,
I'm pretty sure you
Sononi
guys
needs her own
want
Tokusatsu
you guys
fan
as
club.
well, right?
What's that?
I'm pretty sure it's the same for you guys as well. Like, what story, plot, other things, and that you just want a good rider show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as long as the show's good, like, that's all we really want for Kamen Rider, because there hasn't been like a solid, like, good from start to finish season in Reiwa yet, at least in my opinion.
the thing is, it's just like I already feel this is probably going to be like Geats in a way that it's probably going to come out the gate swinging, meaning that episode 1, everybody's going to be like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Everybody's going to be riding the train. And then I'll be that guy in my review saying, hey guys, let's not try being too hype because we all know how this goes.
Episode 16 later.
And people in my comments, it's like, you're being too hard on this show, Zio. It's hitting all those points. I'm just saying from experience, like we've been down this road before too many times, guys. And then it's just like, then we get to that point, and then I'll just be like, I told y'all. We're just like, no, see, it's because you were expecting it to fail.
But I don't know. It's true though. With Reiwa Riders recently, it's like, oh, they're good. This is actually a pretty good show, surprisingly. Then it gets really like, okay, we're starting to go down a bit, but hopefully it'll catch us back up. Oh, we're going really far down. This is pretty bad, actually, in fact. And then we get around towards the ending, and it's like, okay, the ending was all right. It wasn't, it wasn't terrible. Kind of stuck it. Or the ending was god-awful. I'd never want to see the show again. That's how it's been for Reiwa for the past couple seasons.
Also, I'm trying to see what the side of his bikes is. That say dish?
Is it? I thought that was like
it looks like DIS
dash. It's dash.
Dash. Yeah, dash.
Oh, dash. Okay.
That's dash.
Oh yeah, it's a stylized A. It looks weird.
Oh yeah, there was a dash thing. I forget what it was. There was like a dash logo somewhere.
Yeah, because they've got all these different cards. Of course, it's 101 cards out.
How many
gate.
will we actually see in the show?
Probably all of them. They're probably gonna end up being very minimal add-ons at best when it comes to it, not actual form changes. Or they're gonna end up going to like, it's like the Vice stamps in Revice. Probably like some will end up going to the secondary rider, some to the tertiary, and they're not gonna be like actual form changes like what we get with the main one, since current rumors state that Gotchard's the only one that uses 2 cards. Everybody else just uses 1.
How does that work too? Because like we know they have to like add up to 10 for him at least for the main Gotchard form. So it's like, what happens if he uses like a 1 and not a 1, but like a 5 and like a 9 or something, or an 8?
Well, what that tells me is that probably his mid-season upgrade is going to be the 10 card and the 0 card.
Oh,
that way it's just 10 out the gate.
Maybe.
And then maybe from there he gets to 100. That's where everything goes for that one. Let me see what where the poll's at right now.
I think it's mid-winning, right?
Yep. So the current results. It's mid. It's mid. The expectations for Gotchard are currently mid when it comes to it. Some people are being cautious and things like that. I get it, especially coming off Geats. Everybody was blowing their load to that poster of Geats. Like, they were like Randy Marsh in that one episode of South Park. Like, oh my God, this is the right show I was waiting for, guys.
Oh gosh.
And yeah, like, I don't know. It's like really just having the school background and things like that. It kind of like Revice had a very similar poster, especially since he was like right in the happy spa in his poster. Eventually, I got to do
very JoJo-esque.
I got to do a ranking of the debut posters of each writers eventually. That's actually probably a very easy video to do. I might do that like next week or something. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, it seems like everybody just seems pretty mid when it comes to the stand. I will say the suit, I do like the suit now that I've seen it more at an angle, like not the weird angle that we had before. It does look a lot better than me. I like the design of the helmet a lot more, seeing it dead on. And of course, we did get that little 1 minute like TikTok video of the full suit in all of its glory with his pose and all that stuff. Which, helped a bit when it comes to it. It is a very good, like last night we were, of course, watching Shin Kamen Rider on Twitch. And people were talking about the classic Ichigo suit. And of course, this is a clear nod to that suit in terms of the color scheming that it has going on for it, including, of course, everybody knows that the top of the biker helmet looking like Ichigo, and then throwing all that in there just works. This works.
This could be as good as High School Heroes. Who knows?
Oh, we see Mark is in the chat. Live from San Diego Comic-Con. It's Mark with pillow. I was saying pillows with pickles. With pickles. All right. Any other things to throw in for Gotchard before we move on to Shin Kamen Rider? Actually, we're moving pretty quickly, surprisingly.
You think
probably just because the action heavy stuff. So
you think now that we see the poster, you think that helmet's going to go down? I hope so.
I think so. I mean, the side components here make me think that it will swivel down, especially since the goggles here seem to literally be see-through, and we see the top of the helmet just be black. So that means that this would go down, and we would just see that. So yeah, it's pretty much a no-brainer when it comes to that point. Of course, if you've seen the other leaks, of course we've seen the toys. For the driver being out in the factories, along with a buckle that goes on the Desire driver that does read the Gotchard cards also in the factory. So there's this is Toei's been slipping when it comes to these leaks recently. This is leak crazy. They need to get on that Nintendo train in terms of hiring the proper ninjas.
Is this do you think some of these are on purpose, or do you think they're just really slacking?
The thing is, the only reason that I can think of it being a controlled leak would be based on however Geats is performing right now. I don't know the show's ratings when it comes to viewership. If it has started to decline dramatically from where it was before, then maybe they were controlled leaks just to get people back interested again.
And we know people aren't really liking the current stuff.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know the real insight into that stuff. That's why I would love to have someone like Taka on, or somebody like that actually does live in Japan and could attest to the information in terms of the Japanese viewership of the current shows, just to give us that insight, because I'm a sucker when it comes to that kind of background information, especially for their actual intended target demographic. Now, the thing is, it's when I watched the show, I had a weird thought in the back of my head. I don't know if you guys have seen the meme of Pokemon and Call of Duty and their intended target audience versus their actual target.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I see it every other week, every other month on Instagram or social media.
And I'm just what if Gotchard ends up being that kind of show where it's the target demographic, it'll be kids, but then the actual demographic is just adults when it comes to it.
Yep.
We do have another super chat that just came in.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We got Gene Ukio. Oh, super ship right there. Look, we got Geats in my sheets somewhere around here. I gotta find where it's at, but you lived up to the bit out here. They went full marriage. Okay, cool. Come on, Zio. High School Heroes was a great high school story. Gotchard maybe just the same. Well, High School Heroes was great, but it was also only 8-9 episodes. It was a short show. So of course, when you have a shorter, more condensed show, you can let your plot point literally play out within those episodes and not have to pad out anything out, which is pretty much what we were saying about the writing staff earlier, is they do smaller shows typically when they have been the head writers. So getting into something that's going to end up being, anywhere from 45 to 50 episodes, we don't know. It's something to test the grounds on when it comes to that. Of course, they'll probably have a lot of other writing staff coming in there to write some other episodes in there in between. And that will, if that's the case, then of course, us as viewers will be something felt weird about this episode. Why was it? Oh, they got a guest writer in this episode. Oh, that's why it was hitting a little bit different than usual.
I'd rather that than it'd be oh my God, this was such a good episode. Why was that? Oh, someone else was writing it.
Yeah. It's why I'm excited for Cosmic Fury being 10 episodes, because they can condense the story down really much, and it's going to be story focus from what Simon's been saying. So,
Oh,
like less episodes. Yeah, like less episode. I know people say more episodes good. But with like writers change out, like people, staff and writers change out like a lot, and then that's why you have sort of like stories falling apart and plot lines not getting picked up. Like I haven't seen High School Heroes yet. I've heard nothing but good things, but if it's only 8 episodes, then yeah, you've got that condensed story within the short amount of episodes within it.
I gotta ask you, by the way, did you hear about, at least I was told this, that apparently moving forward with Power Rangers, they don't tend to be using mech fights anymore? What? What is that about?
Is this for Cosmic Fury? Or
I don't think so. This is for, I think, the season afterwards, or the series afterwards.
yeah,
Okay.
Well, the thing is, we don't know
supposed season
anything
after.
for.
Yeah, we don't know anything
for
after.
that, so, things
I
could
know
change.
that yeah, I know that Simon said there's only going to be like a couple of Zord fights in Cosmic Fury. So whatever Q Ranger mech fights they want to use for that, but that'd be curious. That'd be curious. Moving forward.
Mark's officially disowned me. Apparently, I've said something. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
He's shooting you daggers right now. I want.
What
you to
did
know
I do,
Mhm.
Mark? What did I do, Mark? While you're
Yeah,
eating
Mark,
pickles, tell me
please-
what you've done.
Yeah, please call in.
that. Yes, dial in. Come in from your phone with the crappy quality.
Let's just hear him in the worst quality
Yeah,
audio.
hotel internet.
Let's just hear San Diego in the background.
Just hear everything going on back there. I mean, with the hiatus and everything, they've got things can change a lot for that
Yeah.
next Ranger season in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I doubt they even have like the costumes even nailed down yet. They probably are still like in the deciding phase of whether or not they want to go original completely or if they want to go the adaptation route. I think maybe looking at the King-Ohger suits maybe got them, got a little raise out of them because I know.
Yeah.
I mean, who didn't get a raise seeing those costumes? So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I did.
All right. So anything else when it comes to GOTCHARD?
Not that I can think of.
Just hope it's good. That's it.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
Hoping that I can enjoy it.
The thing is, it's like my thing is like the school setting works for Sentai quite often just because it's something that we've had so many times. For Kamen Rider, it's something that we haven't really had much of. It's only been a couple instances, really. And a lot of the side instances typically come from, supporting casts and not the actual main writer themselves. Because even then, they normally try going for like 18, 19, like fresh out of like high school vibes when it comes to a lot of that. Even when they get a writer that is technically still in school, like in Fives, it's still not a school setting, even though there is a school in that show, but it's a flashback scene. So there's all of that goes on there. So now we're done with GOTCHARD. Now we move on to Shin Kamen Rider, which if you have not seen it yet, look, it's been available.
Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Officially,
you should have watched it. You should have dedicated some time out of your day-to-day, pulled on Amazon or internet, and just found Shin Kamen Rider to be able to watch it, even if you just happened upon my Twitch stream last night and all that stuff.
They called it Shin Master Rider, so good luck searching for it. Yeah.
Oh no!
And their logo is dog shit. I don't know who designed that logo, but fuck.
I gotta see the logo. I have not seen the logo.
Have you not seen it?
I've not. Yeah, I gotta see it now.
Oh, I tweeted a screenshot just.
I don't tweet anymore. I deleted that.
I know you don't tweet anymore, but
I send people emails now. That's why no one responded to coming to the stream.
You can't even send them Discord DMs or anything like
that? Some of them I don't even know if they have Discords.
Oh.
Let me find it. Screen window. Let me bring it up. I'll bring it up real quick. Window.
Oh God.
Oh, that's oh my God! Did Mark?
Ouch.
It's not the worst.
Mark,
but-
Mark
whoa,
actually
God.
joined.
Mark, oh,
Whoa.
no.
You're
No.
not at Comic-Con, you
He's
lie.
not. You liar.
I just got home. I'm sweaty. I'm about to head back out. What is this Gotchard slander going on right
What do
now?
you mean?
What is
slander?
this? A 4 out of 10, Cloudy? I disown you.
No, that's my hype.
No.
I'm at a 4.5.
No,
Zero's at a -3.
that's
I am at a
different.
-3.
He has multiple personalities. One of them will like it.
Listen, I want
Well, I gotta
to
stop
like
my
it.
video.
I
That's
hope
it.
it's good.
No, I want your hype at a 9.
Also,
can we
this
settle
first of all,
with
this
8?
this logo
Can we
real
settle with
quick.
8?
Why does the R have an like X on it? Like that's setting
Oh,
expectations.
is it
Like
RX? Oh my.
yeah, like
Mark,
we've
are you
got-
eating pickles again?
Yeah, the 0
He's
calorie.
doing the bit. He's
Oh,
doing the
God.
All right,
meme.
but that's terrible. All right, let me close out
Oh
of that.
my.
Oh, man,
no.
Mark's overlaying Mark.
With
Oh my god, it's
Markception.
oh, God.
pickleception.
Into the Markverse.
Yep, that's it.
My
No
camera's
one's up.
really laggy, so I apologize because
Oh.
I like just got in and I was watching on my phone and I was like, "Fuck these guys."
Look, okay, so when it comes to GOTCHARD, I figured it's probably up your alley because everything going on with the chemis being
Makes sense.
unleashed from their cards, and then of course them probably being the monsters that that he'll have to defeat and then turn back into cards. I'm like, that's the undeads. It's Blade all over again.
True, you're not wrong.
Okay. I
But-
So I figured this is probably just this is Blade High School.
Yeah, I actually made that reference. I was like, "It's Blade mixed with like Yu-Gi-Oh GX and like Digimon because of the goggles."
I thought you said Pokemon as well because of the.
Yeah, because of capturing 101.
Yeah.
My camera's all acting up because I didn't set up everything right.
Because I watched that video before this.
Yeah, it was a good video. A lot of people watched it. I'm not going to make reviews anymore because no one watches those shits.
Jesus Christ.
I'm hopped up on
my
so many
Shin Kamen
painkillers.
Rider review bombed really hard, so that's kind of disappointing, even though I put it out hours after it dropping.
That was a good review. I watched
Thank
while I was
you.
waiting. I watched while I was waiting to get disappointed at the fact that there was no Omega Ranger figures.
There aren't any?
I don't see them.
No, they're not. I don't think they're at SGC.
Yeah.
Like they've got like the Black Ranger one there.
And Hasbro was off site with their freaking store, and someone DM me like the QR code to like reserve a spot in line. I'm outside like a jerk, sweating. Like, all right, can't wait to get inside. And then I'm like, there's no Omega Rangers. I looked around. I was like, all right, I'm not buying anything here, and I walked out.
I'm taking my money and I'm leaving.
I was like, I'm gonna go to Bandai and buy all the Dragon Ball SH figure arts.
Nice.
But yeah, when it comes to Shin Kamen Rider, I re-promoted my review earlier this morning because I'm like, look, I already did this a month ago. I don't have to re-film all this. My feelings are still the same when it comes to this. But yeah, when it comes to that film, I think it's just because since it's streaming and things like that, and probably people haven't gotten the memo. Like regular people haven't gotten the memo that, hey, you can go watch this right now because Toei hasn't done any promotions really for it in terms of it coming and streaming, in terms of a proper official capacity. Like they really like shit the bed when it comes to promoting the official like English
all, like-
release of this.
Yeah. When did it go live? Because it wasn't even live at midnight for me.
9 a.m. my time.
Dude.
Oh, God.
So that means 6 a.m.
Yeah.
for you.
And the fact that they named it like Shin Masked Rider. So I was like sitting there like a jerk typing in Shin Kamen Rider. I'm like, where is this
And
thing?
yeah, all I saw was Black Sun.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it was also available for those of us that pirate.
Oh, yeah. No.
Like well in advance, like a whole day in advance.
What do you mean, Zio?
Dude, it went up on like Wednesday, I think, right? Yeah, I think it was up Wednesday night.
It went up
Really?
It went up. No, actually, it went up early on Thursday. Like, Ash, you were in bed because, of course, like once
Yeah,
it dropped,
in
that's
bed or
when I
at work.
DM'd you. Yeah,
Yeah. What time did you DM me?
yeah. When I DM'd you was probably like 30-40 minutes after it dropped, and I was just like, great. Let me download it, make sure that it's legit. It was legit, and then I was like, great. I'm gonna do a.
Oh
stream
yeah,
tonight.
I would have went to bed Thursday night. Yeah. So yeah. It's like Thursday night. I was in bed by the time you messaged me.
So we did have a nice little watch party last night, and I did end up noticing a couple bits that I did not notice even like on the first or second viewing of the film, because of course now I had the luxury of being able to pause and rewind and stop frames. You know, the stuff that I wish I could have done when I saw the film in theaters.
I gave Shinken Red a body bag.
Yes, they put Shinken Red in a body bag. just cheesing the entire time, and I was like, man, that's fucking great. That's fucking great. But Ash, I'm really curious. I've not seen your review yet because I wanted to like hear your thoughts, like personally. Now having seen this, like since the rest of us had seen this film, and you have not seen it, up until now. So tell us, what did you think about Shin Kamen Rider?
This movie was fucking dog shit. No, I'm only kidding. I really loved it. I really loved. Like, I really.
Oh my god!
I really.
I was about to throw my fucking drink on the screen. Like,
What did you say?
Boo this man! Boo!
No, this movie was great.
Next,
Like,
you're gonna
I
say
watched it. Like, I watched it in like one sitting. I did pause it a couple of times to get drinks and food and stuff like that. But this movie was great. Probably like the best Arno film that he's put out recently. Like Shin Godzilla is really great. Shin Ultraman I enjoyed as well. But I feel like this one is up there with Shin Godzilla. And the action scenes were really great. The music was really great. Whoever composed that music did a really fantastic job. The pacing, I can understand where people talk about the pacing for this film, but then you have to expect this is Arno, and Arno, if you've seen Evangelion and stuff like that, his pacing is all over the place when it comes to certain movies. But yeah, this is like a really great Kamen Rider film, like probably like the best one we've got in ages, and I feel like it's going to be a while before we get something like this again. And I'm hoping we get a sequel or something once Arno like has his rest, because he says that he's got ideas. And the ending, I don't know if we want to jump into the spoilers, but the ending does leave it open.
I mean, look, we talked about it spoiler free before. Now we're going balls deep tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So go for it.
Cosmic
Yeah,
Orchid.
so Hongo dying at the end is like, I didn't see that coming, and then his spirit lives on in the helmet. A lot of people have been telling me that's what happens in the manga. I've got that big fat manga book beside me. I might have to read it. I would say the villain felt like kind of a weak villain. Like, I get his motivation. Yeah, like, oh, we're two of the same coin. You're just like me. Their fight scene was pretty good. Like the really high tech special effects fight scene was really great. And then when they're flailing around on the floor, that was great as well, because it's just in that like large hallway. That was cool as well. A lot of like, there was that manga that we talked about ages ago, and that sort of expands on the villains. I've got to seek that out and then find good translations. So that's going to be a task in itself. I think it's still ongoing from what I know of, but that comic, you kind of understand all the shocker arguments and stuff like that. But the fight scenes in this film was freaking great as well. Like the one scene that I loved was like Kamen Rider 1 and 2 fighting, and they're running across those pipes and they just keep jumping out in the air. That's like something out of Dragon Ball Z, like the way they were throwing punches. Jump down, jump down.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes, that was so great. Like I saw, like there was a glimpse of it there was like a glimpse of that scene in one of the trailers, but then actually seeing that scene play out is freaking, like, I loved it. But not only that, the fight with the Wasp was really cool as well. Like I wasn't expecting like a sword battle. That was great as well. Really like that scene. It's like just really well done. Like Arno loves like Rider and Toku and stuff like that, and you can see like the love and effort that he put into it with this movie.
Oh no, absolutely. Real quick, we do have another super chat here from Cosmic Orchid. I heard that Toei is more focused on promoting their animated properties than their live-action properties overseas. That may be why Toei is not promoting Shin Kamen Rider. Just my speculation. Well, then again, they do a bad job of promoting Kamen Rider overseas in general, because even when it came to like the theatrical release of this, it was dog shit. So
yeah, it was like Vaughn finding it like leaked on like the AMC website just by randomly visiting it.
Yep.
And then like it was silence for the longest time, and it was like, oh yeah, I guess this is a thing. But yeah, I think that is definitely true. Like I've got Twitter open on the side right now, and I'm just seeing nothing but One Piece on my feed because they're promoting like a big thing happening in the show coming up. So they're definitely focusing on that, like Toei, because One Piece is taking off. So they're definitely promoting that along with the Netflix series that's coming out next month. So they're doing that synergy.
So with the fight scenes, because once again the fight scenes are like great. That's why I compare it to like Kill Bill, because it's definitely like you're working your way through all of the different like augments and everything like that. The big thing about the Hongo and Ichimonji fight that's so great is when they're going up in the air, they do like a stock footage effect where they wind up for the punch and they play that scene multiple times to give that illusion of it's like being stock footage, which is like you're playing homage to the show. Then another thing that they did is when he beats Hongo, he literally breaks his legs, which if you know the show, the
Dragon
reason
Ball.
Well, the thing is, in original Kamen Rider, the reason why Hongo's actor had to leave the show for a bit was because he suffered a leg injury. Yes.
Oh my god,
that's how he got replaced. Yeah, so that's the reason when they did it, and then he literally gets replaced by Ichimonji Hayato. I was like, boy, they really going for those cuts here, those references.
That is a deep cut.
And then, of course, like if he's dragging on the ground with the legs, and I thought it was like great in terms of those aspects. Now the Hachi Org or like Wasp Org fight, the thing that was great on that one was the OST, because they played that 70s music that was going in there almost like beat for beat with like a slight remix going on to it. Along with the effects, they had like that 70s like step of each of the villains walking slowly to them, like it was some sort of like 70s Bond film or something like that. And I thought it was great. Along once the helmet comes on and the fight actually starts, and then the music all changes, and it's just like that's why like that one is my favorite fight. Is you throw in all those scenes, you throw in the musical cues, you throw in all the special effects that go in there. It is great when it comes to all that. The worst fight is literally the final fight. That final fight has a whiplash kind of feel to it, where it's just like he's wrecking face, as we get introduced to new Kamen Rider Reigo, and which Zerogo technically, and he beats everybody up. And then all of a sudden, like Hongo's like, I got a plan. Oh, you got a plan? You should have led with that. And then all of a sudden, it's just like the fighting changes dramatically. Like he loses steam. And it's just like, bro, what the fuck just happened? You were wrecking face. And then they got a plan. Instantly, you got your jimmies rustled. It was that's kind of like where they kind of dropped the ball in terms of that aspect. But yeah, when Hongo died at the end, I was like, whoa, y'all really doing this? Like, I did not expect that. There were like several deaths that I did not expect. Ruriko, of course, like technically the co-star of the film. When they killed her off, I was like,
she carried those scenes that she was in.
Oh, absolutely. Like in the beginning, I was just like, man, this girl's like so entitled, so pretentious. I hate that. And then like as her story revolves and you find out a little bit more about her, like the fact that she just didn't get enough like love and attention from her actual family, and she just wanted to feel pampered once in her life. And I was like, this girl's growing on me. And then like by the end, I'm just like, when she dies, I'm just like, the first time I saw it, like massive feels, I was like, oh no, but she just gave him the scarf right out of her ass, and now she's dead because of 1K short of being a complete thing I can't say on YouTube, Mr. King-Ohger. So yeah, now we can go into like full spoilers. Mark, now that you're on camera, anything you want to talk about when it comes to this film, without stuffing your face with a corn dog?
4 corn dogs, actually.
4 corn dogs.
So when she died, my wife was actually crying in the theater. I could hear her like audibly like sniffling and this and that, and I got to look over and I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, my wife, who knows no Toku stuff, there's a disdain towards all Toku because of how much money I spend, is literally getting emotional in her first time ever watching Kamen Rider. But it was every time I think of this movie, and I watched it last night, man, Scorpion Og should have been there a little bit more. Just saying.
Oh god, like that scene.
Like Like she should have been in the movie a lot more. I need like a V cinema just with her origin.
Listen, Mark, the spikes. They have to bring out the spikes.
Oh
But,
yeah, the spikes.
Yeah, it's. I still like it. I still think it's one of the few ones where I'm like, I do want a sequel to this. Like we've talked about the -0 thing, where it's possibly going to be like inspired past like Shin Godzilla, but I'm okay with it. Shin Godzilla being a one-off. I'm okay with Shin Ultraman being a one-off. This had so much to it, and I actually like the pacing. I get why people don't like it. I understood the assignment. I understood the pacing. When you think about how it's broken up,
Hello, baby.
Oh god.
Bro, when she came out, like everybody, like so when I was doing the live stream last night, like Orb, who's in the chat, was just like, "You and Mark were hyping up these women too much. They better be worth it." And they were definitely worth it. So the thing is, like right now in the polls, I did open up one for Scorpion Org, Wasp Org, and Ruiko.
They did.
Like all three of them
casting was perfect.
Full on like.
The
Perfection
holy trinity
going on.
of the Toku waifus.
Like you know what? Screw all the other previous waifu wars we had. This is the real battle. I have a hard time deciding.
Let's not say things we can't take back.
No.
Still on the Morphonia train.
Yes.
Okay, of course.
Nah, even then, I gotta toss all of the ladies from King-Ohger aside when it comes to this. You know, the only one that might come close from more recent eras might be Sononi. Now that I found some photo books of her in gothic attire, I'm just like,
wait, what?
Gothic Sononi
that changes things.
They're on the Discord server.
All right, I'll have to check this. I've had time.
No, you keep not wanting to promote this Discord server, but
yeah.
I mean, look, people just never look in the description. It's been there since Revice reviews. No one looks in the descriptions to find the link to the Discord servers. It's always been there. It's always been
right there. And it's free.
It's free. No paid memberships or anything. No. It's free.
But missed opportunity. I'm still kind of like jaded that I can't have the Anno physical set of everything now, because you know I do have Shin Ultraman. I did pick it up, and I have my replacement disc on the way. I have Shin Godzilla, this that, but it's like I want Shin Kamen Rider to be on that set with them. Like I want it physical on display.
I feel like this is going to get a physical release. It's just they're putting a move to put it on digital for now. Like sort of like what they do with like Disney Plus. It's on streaming for now. It's going to come out on because it's going to come out on physical in Japan. That's for sure. Will Shout or someone get it? I hope so.
No shade. I hope it's not Cleopatra.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Cleopatra. Oh my god!
I give them credit. 6 days it took for them to resolve that issue.
Yeah, that's pretty quick actually.
And starting next week, all the newer versions of the Blu-rays and DVDs will be replacing all the bad ones. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna let this poll cook a little more. We currently only got 21 votes.
So
what'd you think? Oh, sorry.
Zio, you had obtained a copy before it was on Amazon Prime. Did you try going in and lightening up the make it a little brighter for the tunnel scene?
God, no, I did not. But that scene is still horrendously awful when it comes to the lighting effects.
Lighting it up literally just makes it look worse. It doesn't fix it enough. Like they're setting up with how it was filmed, basically.
I don't think they actually filmed that scene in HDR because that's the thing. If they did, then probably if I'd probably watch it on my 4K if Amazon's got it up. Does anyone know if the Amazon release is actually like HDR or is it just?
I don't think it is. I think it's just 1080.
Yeah, if that's the case, then there's no saving that scene unless it actually is like filmed in HDR intent, which is going to need a 4K Blu-ray release for that one.
Yeah,
because that was the hardest to see fight when it comes to any of that. It gave me like flashbacks to like Kenobi, like the last episode where I was like, I can't see shit.
Oh my god, no.
I like that scene though. Still, because the flashing and this and that, like I like that. Like I'm a fan of that style of action where it's dark. Prime example, most recently with Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. There's a whole scene where he's in the dining room of the mansion. The lights go out. All you see while he's fighting is every time the muzzle goes off when he shoots his gun, that lights everything up. I kind of like dark scenes like that, but this just
It can work depending on the tone.
it went on
Just-
too long though. Like, but it was definitely. I think watching it at home, I like it more now than I did when I saw it in theaters both times.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, like in theater, like of course you don't get the luxury of being able to pause and things like that, but I still like would say the audio definitely bigger win when you're watching in the theater and things like that. It's just really the experience of being in the theater setting and saying I watch Kamen Rider in the theater is not something that we in the West could really say.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why that helped.
Well, you went the other hour. I was going to say the luxury of sitting at home and not having to wear pants without people staring at you funny. It's like, why are you taking your pants off in the middle of Shin Kamen Rider?
So,
Your cats
Look,
are
I
still
was
gonna
live
stare at you
streaming.
funny, Mark.
Yeah, but at least
Yep.
when I'm in the theater, they're like, "Why? What are you doing? Are you Paul Rubin?" Like, no.
Oh, okay.
the only difference between like me live streaming it versus watching in the theater is that I had like at least 5 more drinks at home than I did at the theater because I was slamming drinks last night. I was
I call it
completely
bad,
slamming
yeah.
drinks.
So what do you guys think of like the fact that like Hongo lost everyone with like just a fatal stabbing? Like almost everyone important to him just stabbed fatally.
I mean, that's more personal of a death than any other way to die. Really, when you think about it.
True.
I will say that like the thing that I liked about Hongo's character is like in every scene where he's trying to keep a brave front, like he stays shaking like the entire time because he's like nervously like his body is scared, but he's just saying what he knows that he needs to say. The only time he didn't shake was at the end when he was about to die. And I thought that was a really good touch.
But
Because
Ichimonji
every
Hayato
time.
stole that show. Stole that movie.
Yeah,
Such
definitely.
a good
Nigo
character.
was the highlight of the film, and I wish there was more of him
From
for
the
that,
mo-
which is why I'm just like the sequel bait at the end. I need
yeah.
that film now. I
yeah.
need that film.
Really
From the
quick,
moment he just walks on, he's just like this is my movie now, and you gotta accept that.
he had a charisma to him that's like a presence on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Even my wife was like, "Why wasn't he in the movie more?" I'm like, "No, because it's a passing. Don't worry about it." She's like,
They
"Is there a
like that.
sequel?" I'm like, "I hope so." But who pre-ordered the DX half Typhoon driver?
No,
Not me.
0. I'm the only one
I
who's gonna
had
wear that thing
bills
around.
to pay. I had.
I'm gonna wear that thing around and pretend I'm a butterfly.
I don't care about that man like that. That
I
man
don't know,
did
but that drive-
nothing for that film.
It's the noise of the tubes and everything when you like henshin. So I was like, I gotta buy that. Why not?
Yeah.
Until they dropped the CSM for it.
Yeah, his henshin was pretty cool, like his face splitting open. That was
Yeah.
creepy and weird.
I don't know. I'm not overall as like character wise. I'm not a huge fan of Zero. What is it? Is it Zero?
Zero Go.
Zero Go. Right?
Yeah.
Ichiro.
Isn't it
is his
Rego?
name.
Yeah. That's why I was mad when I played the Shin Kamen Rider like Rumble game because that was in the game and I was like, what is this? And I was like, shit, I didn't see the movie yet. And I had to stop playing because everything else up until it was in all the trailers. And I was like, damn.
I will say they nailed the rider kicks like 100%.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. The full impact
God.
of those kicks in general were
That's
just
kicks.
They were beautiful. God.
My favorite part of the movie isn't what was in the movie. It was Ash's tweet about the blood. That was my favorite part of the movie. Because I just saw a tweet and I was like happy to watch it on my phone. And I was like, oh, let me check Twitter before I go do some stuff. And he's like, the blood. And I was like, yep. Ash is
I'm
watching
2
it.
minutes in and there's blood everywhere.
it's like a Gallagher scene. It's just like
Yeah.
ha! It's nonstop.
Yeah.
It was legit funny to the point like even the first and second time I was in the theater, I was like nearly laughing every time it would happen because it was just ridiculously hilarious to me. Coming out like straight water going in there. So yeah, that was great. There's honestly like a lot of good things about this film, especially like at the end when you find out the names of the two guys that have been like there the entire time. With Tachibana.
Are those names important? Because
Yes.
I haven't seen much of the original writer.
So they are because so Tachibana is the name of technically the guy that owns the bike shop that gives Hongo his first bike.
Okay,
And so he becomes like a staple when it comes to the
Okay.
Kamen Rider franchise. While Taki is Skull Rider from the manga.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Yes.
first, the beginning.
Yes,
Right.
so technically like the first Kamen Rider without
Prototype,
being Kamen Rider. But if you
Okay.
he has definitely a more pronounced role if you read the Kamen Rider Spirits manga.
Mhm.
So them just doing that was just like, oh shit, like really, like the first time that happened at my first showing, people were clapping at their name reveals because it was just like, oh shit,
So-
really?
Did everyone just like completely cream themselves in the tunnel when they first posed next to each other?
Yes. That was when my theater erupted during the first viewing. During the second viewing, I was like, no one? Okay. But
My
that's
theater was
also
quiet the whole thing. My theater was quiet the whole
No,
time.
my theater was hype during that scene. But that was also the moment in which we had that one kid in the audience going like, oh my god, it's Power Rangers. Literally when they do the poses and everybody's like
Oh my God.
clapping. Kid ruins the scene by saying that. But yeah, that was the moment
Or
when they do the poses.
what kind of question is that?
I would like boo this man.
Boo this man.
Which
Or
double
right now.
Rider kick was
Boo
better,
or-
Ichigo Nigo or Mario and Luigi. And you know, when you say Mario and Luigi, I now imagine like Doga and Boshamar from King-Ohger.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine them doing a rider kick right on to Gira.
Yep, that's how they get him. That's how they got him. But look, the double rider kick that was in the Super Mario movie, which if you haven't seen as well, it's good because they literally do a punch into a kick combo. It's great.
The
great.
black special.
So yeah. So it's good stuff when it comes to that. It's also technically the technique used by Ichigo and Nigo in the Kamen Rider the first movie. Because that's actually how they beat Cobra, I believe. No, is it Cobra? I think.
Oh yeah, I like that they
Is there
name
any-
drop Cobra for like the for sequel baiting.
Is there any good quality stuff of that movie? Because whenever I find the first or the first, it's very grainy. I don't know if it's filmed like that or that's just how I.
It's filmed like that. Plus, it's 2006, and it was TV
Yeah, that's
Nihon.
true.
TV Nihon at the time was not about some HD like
Okay,
rips. They
okay,
were
okay.
very hard to
All right.
like convert over to the newer stuff. But yeah,
And has
but
it been
it's
in a
still worth
Blu-ray
watching.
release yet? Okay.
No, I think it was only released in DVD.
Okay.
When it
Because
comes to the
that's
first.
Inoue, right? Those
Yes.
movies.
You know, I
Alright.
did write the first and the next, and I will say the first is good. The next retcons some shit, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
why?
The end of the
we're
next is
not-
also
Yeah, someone clipped that Twitch stream from that moment at the end
Yeah.
because I was like, whoa. But yeah, we don't talk about the ending of the next, not while on YouTube. That's a Twitch conversation
can
or a
talk
Discord call.
about it next.
TOS.
So,
Yeah, well,
Yep.
Mm.
although they'll probably still like partially demonetize this stream. They did it with last week's stream as one. I'm like, what did we say then?
What did we do?
Dude,
Like,
they
I-
still change that all the time. I had another video get like the same thing, and I'm like, I didn't say anything. I went back and watched it. I'm like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so it
Hmm.
gets ridiculous when it comes to that front. Okay, so I think there's been
Also,
enough time cooking.
the,
You guys
um,
say your personal
The
favorite?
prequel manga is still going on. The newest volume just is dropping in a
okay.
couple 2 days. They're on volume
have to
3 now.
find-
They're on chapter 21 of this.
I'll have to find scanlations of it. Like,
I'll send you a link. I already got it.
yeah, they're probably on the cat website somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
All right, so
'cause-
we got our poll results for the Waifu Wars.
Oh.
All right. So, in third place is Scorpion-Org with 15% of the votes. In second place, it's Wasp with 37. And the thing is, Wasp was actually leading, like back when I was like
Yeah.
doing the check earlier.
Mhm.
But Ruriko won out at 46%. Jack
Twitter-
Spider, I
Twitter
don't think
does-
you know what thick
Twitter
means.
does like
because
wasp,
you're like
from what I've been
thickness
seeing.
wins once again. What?
What?
Like out of all three
No,
of those,
no.
like
Scorpion was
We're-
thick.
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
Scorpion was the
yeah,
thickest.
Scorpion was the
thick.
thickest between them. Like I think
Yeah.
you got to learn what thick actually means, my guy. Like, come on.
Unless you mean thick as in thick-headed voting,
Yeah.
not
Oh
going
my
for Scorpion.
I will say, like, at the end of the day, there's no wrong answers when it comes to this.
There really
poll.
isn't.
There-
Yeah.
like
Just
at
what
the end
you
of the day,
feel.
everyone won. Everyone won. There was no like no
Depending on the
disappointing factor
day,
when it-
depending what kind of day I
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
I might vote for a different one.
Yeah,
Most
there- there can
90%
be
time is
different days.
Scorpion, but
I'm just
Well,
imagining
do
Mark's
honorary
like,
hydrate
I
this
need
one.
the full scene of the fight where they
Yeah.
take her out.
I
Just
can't
for the-
bring Scorpion Dog home to the family. I mean, she can't meet the parents. No.
Well, just for
It
the
belongs to the
honorary,
street.
since we got the Ruriko up here. All right, there. We have our winning waifu of the evening. Now the other fight that we keep getting into now is Henri and Emmy from Blazar, but you know, fight for another day.
That's tough.
Henri.
I'm team Emmy on that one. So
Team Henri
Definitely.
all
Oh,
the way.
100% the shorts.
yep.
Is it just
Yep.
the shorts with you guys? Listen, we
No,
can
no,
get
it's not
Henri-
the shorts.
You can just get Henri in shorts. You'll see.
True.
I'm just like even
Listen,
just
have you seen her workout photos?
Was she working out in shorts?
I don't think you'll want her to work out in shorts instead.
see, but the thing about Henri, if I'm gonna be
Wait,
start getting,
wait,
like,
wait.
subjective and for getting
Cloud,
like
you gotta
very,
send me a DM.
I'll
Can't just say that all willy-nilly and not follow up. But I'll DM it to you.
Hold on.
Like,
I'll
disrespectful. The things I have to deal with freaking PNG VTubers all the freaking time.
Damn,
Crazy Orb says Henri got that body. Yeah, but that's the thing.
True.
Henri's a butterface. Like everything but her face.
Mm.
Just saying. Just saying. If I'm gonna be that guy that just has to spit facts, I'm just gonna throw it out there, guys. Just gonna throw it out there. So.
Henri.
And Emmy has like a good personality. She's funny. I like
Mhm.
funny people.
Yes.
Huh?
The comedic
Oh,
factor is definitely
She gets seafood pizza. Instantly, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna get along.
You like seafood pizza?
I like the idea of seafood pizza.
I
It's
tried
like a
it.
really
I did not know
good
that. I
seafood
did not know
pizza.
that's an
greatly.
option.
I
There's a
greatly
really good
disliked it.
seafood pizza they do it at Australia Domino's where it's like prawns and like baby spinach.
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad, but I just don't like the ones where like they try to put like tuna on it and stuff like that.
No,
I
no,
would
no,
just
no.
eat
No,
all-
I'm not a
Should,
fan of
should, I,
tuna.
should I do the poll? I'll do the poll for Blazar. I'll do it.
You- Emmy's gonna win. You've already tainted the chat.
I gotta keep up the waifu wars. That's not King-Ohger. That's not King-Ohger.
Or get
then
out the
the
17
winner for-
accounts.
The winner for each show and movie have to face off against in like the overall waifu
Oh,
of the
that's
year.
a good idea.
You
Like a
know-
battle royale.
Oh, we're gonna do a bracket fight for all the
Yeah.
waifus.
Let's do it.
Are we gonna
That-
do like a tier list for waifus like one episode? Or is that nothing?
I will.
I
I
did
think-
a
I
live
think,
tier
like-
list already though.
I think like that one live stream where we did the fits for all the
Yes.
Heisei
Yeah.
riders. We got to do it for the waifus.
Or get out the 17
Emmy's
accounts.
just
We
her
can do
photo
it.
in the shorts.
We got to do it. Just the chat would be living it up. Your vote directly influences who moves on to the final actual waifu wars.
Ooh.
I I might just open up a post saying list all of the waifus in Toku, and that'll be a 5-hour stream.
We'd have to
I'll be
wait.
up until 2 a.m.
We have to wait because we don't know what kind of wigs Himeno could still drop on us. Like she could drop.
No,
anything.
that's a different bracket fight in itself.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
that's
The
right.
yeah,
Himeno
that is,
fight.
that is a different.
Yeah,
that is a
yeah.
different
I'm just
battle
saying, if she
royale.
has a top tier wig, she could clear all that.
Also, you guys do
Wait for
know, like in this chat, at least as far as we're concerned with Zio's this chat, the Rita fans are gonna destroy the Himeno fans here.
Yeah, but once they start
But
getting
not
to
a-
like the Shin Kamen Rider girls
Yeah.
and things like that, they're gonna
Yeah.
turn quickly on Rita.
I'm
You can't
sure-
tell me this won't beat Rita.
I don't.
Come on.
I don't know. It's your chat. Who knows?
You're not wrong.
Look, I'm just saying.
yeah.
Like
No,
I'm
There's
saying,
Rita
Zio, it's your
actual
chat.
Rita
They're
fans
crazy.
that are in the chat, would you pick Rita or
Change
Hachio.
change the poll. Change the poll, Dio.
Like, if you had to choose between that,
Look, Rita's
Mr. Cool
best is
Guy's like the
already there.
first one going like, okay.
Yeah.
Look, Rita's
Here's the
best
thing,
is right
also.
there.
Sononi, you put Rita versus Sononi round 1. Boom. Already Rita's out.
I already see 2 Ritas. Oh, where's that? Tita? Who's Tita?
I don't know who Tita is.
He's just one guy spamming Rita.
Oh.
One guy said Scorpion Suzume, but we wasn't even on the list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course Sononi would beat that, especially if I show you all those gothic photos. I'm just saying.
Oh,
just saying.
Listen, Sononi's probably gonna have like a ride-in to like the semifinal bracket.
Probably until like Medic shows up from Drive and then everybody like dies.
Did everyone like Medic that much?
I like Medic that much. I was not on social media at the time. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I haven't watched Drive since.
I'm surprised you haven't added her to the wall.
There's other places.
All right, so
Oh my God.
so looking at it, it looks like the chat is actually making the right decision this time. 64% have chosen Emmy.
You failed. I'm disappointed. You see the way Mark is looking at you eating those pickles? That's the way I'm looking at you.
But that's a good face because that was what I found out. Gotchard was going to be peak, and y'all are just not hyped because you're old.
Oh,
Says the oldest guy in the fucking like live
Yeah.
stream.
No, someone thought I was 24 today, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, bless your heart." I was like, I remember those years over a decade ago. That was like
Speaking
4
of decades.
presidencies.
So back onto Shin Kamen Rider, I will say, since we didn't touch on them too much, Bat Org. He was a thing. He was a thing. He was our first like baddie that wasn't like one that we had already seen before, because of course everybody saw that the opening bit with Spider and all that stuff, which was great. But then once we got to Bat, it was weird. It was a little on the nose, especially since he was talking about certain demics that came from a certain winged rodent, and I was just like, y'all really going?
Right.
Okay, all right. But yeah, sure. Pretty much doing off a whole bunch of clones of Ruriko that came out of nowhere and things like that, which is where we start getting a little bit more information when it comes to Ruriko's own abilities, since she is a computational being and just can reverse engineer anyone's abilities if she has enough time. She's like Batman. She just needs the prep work and she can do it. That type of thing. But I found that fight to be hilarious just because he's just like, he's citing stats. He's just like, look, you can only jump like 66 kilometers into the air. I fly higher than that. So he just thrusts the bike up and then jumps off the bike. It's just like, gotcha, bitch. And I was like, damn, see, that's hilarious. That's funny because this man's like citing stats, forgetting this man had a bike and can just jump off that shit. Got his ass. Then the other one, of course, is Kamakiri Chameleon Org, who I guess is the brother of Spider Org. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like he seems to have that real relationship type aspect to it, which is the guy that ends up stabbing Ruriko, aka he gets everybody's hate in general because he stabbed, best girl in terms of aspects. And it's just like, yeah, you got what you deserved. You completely got what you deserved when it came to that aspect. But that fight was also very when it comes to things, because he literally just got his chest beat in by Ichimonji because Nigo rocked that fucking chest.
I didn't like his design for the Chameleon one. I didn't really care for it
because they combined two different villains.
But there's ways where we've seen they could have, done something. I don't know. I think because I like Spider, like outside of Scorpion, and we don't need to talk about the waifus, but like I liked Spider's design a
Oh,
lot.
yeah, that design looked
Yep.
really
like,
great.
Like I was like, that is so good. I like that helmet and like kind of like the dread hair type thing. Like that was really good.
Yeah.
And then Bat, I didn't really care for, but the
Mhm.
fight was just entertaining.
Hmm.
And then the chameleon one, I'm like, I get from a story standpoint, we need to kill some characters off, but like, I don't know. It seemed very quick and just almost out of place, like at the time. Because I was just like, I want to see, like, this is the time where I wanted like a major fight to happen, like something bigger, or like even like Kamen Rider against each other, just drag out a little bit longer without a leg issue. But I don't know, Chameleon, I just didn't care for.
Yeah, no, especially since the way that he like just introduces himself because he's an org that they weren't betting
Mhm.
on. They didn't
Yeah.
know that he existed when they were looking at the tally of all of the ones that they
Yeah.
had to go against, which is what causes that thing. Another thing is, of course, as much as we love a Scorpion org, Sasori org, she gets done in by Spikes and, of course,
Yeah.
the actual government and themselves. So it's an off-screen fight, but you hear it and it's maximum ASMR. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
It's like they were out there just like, should we be listening? I feel kind of weird listening to this with you here. Like it's one of those moments. It's like, oh, the spikes. But then, of course, we find out the reason why they went after her first was so they can get her venom to end up doing in like Wasp Hachi org. And it's just like, that in itself was a moment. She ended up getting beat by gun because they had venom.
I'm not going to make the joke I want to make.
So yeah, that definitely happened. But then the other thing is Shocker in itself. So Shocker in itself was a very big, like, it's a weird aspect because we have these other characters. We have who is apparently like the overseeing thing for everything for Shocker. We never see them in the film in actuality because the little glimmer of what when in the theater I thought was was actually just Ichiro projecting himself while he was still in his cocoon, becoming his current form. So when you see that little AI looking computer generated face that's talking to K, it was actually Ichiro and not I that was talking to him. So I is definitely like very elusive, but it is a very good callback to the great leader of Shocker. Because, of course, if you've seen or you know about the great leader of Shocker, a lot of the forms that he takes ends up being a singular eye. And that's it. So I thought that was like very good. Like, once again, it's a reference. And then just saying that it's AI, but I for short, I'm just like, okay, you're modernizing a very classic thing. And it's good in terms of that aspect. Then we get Jay. And Jay. Oh, and Jay is Kakaider. He's essentially Kakaider, but he's in a wheelchair. He's essentially the secondary one that we end up getting on there. That half his body is technically incomplete in terms of that aspect, but he was tasked with the job of observing everything for and relaying, human in general. And Mark got by Kevin. Oh well, we got the PNG here, so he's good. But the thing is, in terms of the way that the movie sets up things, J technically becomes K, who is another Ishinomori reference to Robot Detective. And they explicitly say within the movie that Jay's body was left behind, which I'm just like, there's so much potential here. This is why in my review, I'm like, they're setting up an entire Ishinomori verse in terms of all the other content that they're throwing in here from his works that could just be cooked up in general.
Yeah. It's like that one line from, oh, sorry if I cut you off. It's like that one line from Go Ranger versus Jack, where they have that one scene and it's barely brought up ever again, where it's like V3's off doing that, Kakaider is doing that, and then you've got like the Go Rangers doing something, if I remember correctly. It's like that one.
Yeah.
That scene.
Now, I don't know if you ever got this impression, because the thing is, like, while I was watching the film, I'm just like, I kept thinking that K was going to end up being like the final villain, because he's in almost every scene watching. Every time someone
Yeah.
dies, he's putting the flower on there, and I'm just like, I'm just waiting for this guy to throw hands. Never
Mhm.
happens. And even at
Yeah.
the end, at the very end, he's still there, just watching, and
Mhm.
I'm like, what y'all gonna do with this man? I'm curious now. So yeah, I don't know if you got that feeling completely when you were watching it or not, because it's a
Oh yeah,
very
because
odd setup.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I thought they'd be setting up because like he was meant to like observe and watch, and I'd wonder if he'd like go rogue and go off the grid and start rebelling and becoming like this like Skynet intelligence, but that didn't seem to be the case. We had like Sad Brother as villain.
I'm wondering if.
Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just
Yeah.
saying. I wonder if they're like planning. They were planning something originally, and like, I hope they don't overcook it. Like, I hope it's not like something like that doesn't get paid off properly.
No,
Was
and the oh wait, we got another
We got a super
that
chat.
just
That's why I
popped in.
paused.
Mark up. From Mikey saying, thanks for keeping me entertained every Friday night at work, guys. Well, it's a
thanks.
fun time doing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's easy content for me. I don't have to edit this.
Oh
What's-
god.
Ooh.
All you have to do is
I don't
press a
have to
button.
edit this. Yes, it's just like end stream, done. No editing. It saves me time, so it works out. But yeah, you were saying Cloudy.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna go on with. I think because of the motivations of Shocker in the show, like what the ridiculously long acronym is in this movie, that maybe like the other reason they started just calling I was just the fact that it was like I as in love, just
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then the fact that they went J and then K right after, so
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course. I just meant like it was just ironic that it was just also I was also means I, which means love. Yeah.
But then also the fact that we haven't seen I at all, so it's like I gotta see all that, and plus also what's going on with Jay's body. There's like so many
Listen,
things over here.
They're gonna use it and they're gonna recreate Kikaider, okay?
Well, no, so that's the thing. It's like one of my speculations was like if they put like Hongo's consciousness now that it's in there, or like even Ruiko, because at the end of the movie they say that Ruiko's consciousness is just stored somewhere. It's somewhere safe. She also managed to store some of her consciousness like in the helmet originally.
Right.
Which once again, good foreshadowing, because there is that scene in the movie where she is working on the helmet for Hongo, and it's like all this shit was set up in the film. Like if you watch it, you will see it that everything gets set up within the film itself, and it's not an asshole. Nothing in this film really is an asshole,
except for the scars.
Yeah, except for the scarves. I don't know where she's getting those from.
No, even
but,
Ichigo, he pulls his scarf out of nowhere too.
It must be passed down by their father.
Oh yeah,
something. Yeah, them father genes just out there. Midorikawa just out here like he just throws scarves on everybody. So.
Oh yeah, I heard people are excited that Gotchard also has a scarf.
Oh boy, I mean everybody was hyped when Geats had a scarf. No one talks about it anymore, so
it doesn't really matter.
Exactly, but yeah. So the Shocker entity of things was interesting. It's like I want more. Like I want more of that. Like you give me all these like nuggets of information when it comes to lore, and I really want to know like so much more when it comes to this organization. But it's literally like the most secretive the organization has technically been. When it comes to Shocker.
Do
you
think if they do a sequel, they'll do the what the Great Leader looked like in the show, or do they think they're not ballsy enough to do it?
I think if they do a sequel, they might save that for a third film, because I really think that the way that it would work is they'd have to make their own version of Dr. Shinigami. And we get the whole like Ega Devil of it all and see how that's gonna go. But I don't know how they're gonna. Well, then again, it's Anno. If he has enough time after getting some rest and relaxation, he could probably cook up something great. But if he introduces the great leader, it might be like at the very tail end of the sequel, and then we get a proper lead up to a V3.
So
Right.
how many movies you thinking in this Onoverse of Shin?
22.
That's how many? No, Zio, come on.
He's gonna do it till he dies.
Realistically, come on. How many? No, writers specifically. How many writers specifically movies you think?
Look, I don't expect this to just be writer. Like, I do expect it to go like full on other Ishinomori properties,
Right.
like Kikaider, like Detective Keiji, things like that. I mean, Robot Keiji. Going into that kind of aspect, maybe Inazuman, like maybe Cyborg 009. There's like so many different Ishinomori works that they could technically go into when it comes to a lot of this, and then tie it up as like a big Avenger style crossover.
You want me to go insane? I will like go crazy if we ever get anything Cyborg 009 related. That was like my jam growing up.
You know, recently I got a hold of the subs from the 25th anniversary DVD release of it, in which they actually had a lot of the anime staff come in and talk some shit. Yeah, I watched that the other day. It's like 30 minutes long if you like some commentary on some stuff from production staff and one of the voice actors. I got you.
I wish it was a Toku so we could put on Toku Rewind.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when it comes to that, that's what I want. It's kind of like there's this famous photo from the 70s that shows like Stronger, Spider-Man, Battle Fever J.
Yeah.
Like something to that level with like all the Ishinomori works, and then Kevin got Ash.
Okay, great.
No, I'll be right back.
So we're gonna get a Shin Spider-Man, is what you're saying?
Yes, we get a Shin Toei Spider-Man with a Leopard on it and all that shit in there. You know what? Fund it. Go ahead, do it. Spider-Man prints money.
It's true.
So if Japan just did their own Spider-Man and it was literally based off of it, is Sony gonna stop them? They would probably be like, well, obviously we own the character currently when it comes to movie rights, but go ahead and do it because we know we're gonna make money. So go for it.
But will they? Because we know Toei doesn't like making money.
Yeah, but Sony likes making money.
That's true. All right. That's true.
And Disney likes making money.
Right.
So it's 2 out of 3 entities that like making money.
That's fair.
So if we get Shin Spider-Man, because you know we didn't get him into the Spider-Verse anyway, so you might as well just.
I mean, we don't know that yet. We're still part 2. You know, part 2 is coming out next year in August.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't seen the film yet. I was already told sequel bait when it comes to the ending of it.
Well,
so
it's because like it was originally one movie, but they made it too long, much like with the Schneider cut, right? So they split the movie in half, basically.
This is Spider-Man,
I don't trust Disney.
Yeah.
Well, look.
Yeah.
The thing is, if they do a Shin Japanese Spider-Man, it would be more in Sony's hands than it would be Disney, because once again, when it comes, so the thing that's weird when it comes to like the distribution rights of Spider-Man is if it's shorter than, I think it's like an hour, Disney can do it.
Oh, okay.
If it's longer than that, then Sony has complete rights to it, which is why all of the cartoons and things like that, since they're like 30 minutes long, Disney has full ownership over them. But the movies fall under Sony because they're the only ones that can do a proper Spider-Man film by their contract if it extends a certain like runtime. So it's all about runtime.
Oh yeah, that would be nice to see a Shin Skullman.
So let's see here. We got another super chat. Jam Cal says, so basically, the ending part of the 90s Skullman manga have all the Ishinomori heroes ready in the shadows. Yeah, pretty much. And the thing is, it's like they've done this multiple times before. It's like they cook up this plot line, but we haven't seen it come into fruition. I feel like the only time we've kind of sort of seen it is in one like of the what was it? One of the superhero Tyson movies. The one that they had like Zubat, Inazuman, and the Kakaider and Kakaider, the other Kakaider show up at the very end. Like that's like the only time that I've seen it kind of come into play. I keep forgetting which movie it is, but I think it's one of the superhero Tyson films. Yeah, Kakaider 01. But it's like literally at the end, they just show up, beat some ass, and I was just like, that is it. Like something like that we need, because that was like the peak part of that film for me was when they showed up.
Yeah. Mark is just an agent of chaos. It seems he said the Schneider cut was just too short.
I mean, it was,
I didn't know 4 hours could be short.
Yeah, I didn't think 4 hour long movie could be that short.
it should be a proper miniseries. 4 hours is too short for a miniseries. Should have been 6 hours. It's technically right.
Oh yeah, it should have been Les Mis.
Which one?
The movie that came out, with what's his name?
Which one?
Russell Crowe.
With Russell Crowe.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, there's multiple versions of Les Mis, so that's why.
No, I know.
watched
There's the
it.
play. There's the book. There's
Well, in terms of films, there's like multiple films
There were
for Les Mis. Yeah.
I don't know the famous one that was infamous for just being ridiculously long and having Russell Crowe sing horribly.
All right. So, anything else when it comes to Shin Kamen Rider? I feel like we've tackled a lot of the different aspects on there. I know there were a couple of people saying, "Well, is the story any good?" It's like, well, yeah, because they give you so many like
If you
nuggets.
love Kamen Rider, you'll love this. Like if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it.
Yeah.
And even then, when it comes to like, it's very different from the other Anno films because, of course, when you get to like the Shin Ultraman and the Shin Godzilla, those deal with a lot of larger scale fights, which is why I was a little bit concerned with how he would tackle small scale fights because we hadn't really seen that from his other works, and seeing it here, it was worth it, completely worth it. It was all good. So. The fighting was good. The characters were great. In terms of how they were. Hongo probably he's redeemable in certain aspects, but he's not as like, how do I put this in a good terms?
Charismatic.
He's not like, he's not like the Hongo Takashi that I expected.
Yeah. He's not.
I was going to say he's staying very robotic. Very robotic, even though he just got turned into a cyborg, so he doesn't emote a lot in the film.
Oh.
Like I said, his emoting comes from his body language because he'll talk, but then he'll be shaking as he's talking. Like his body like reacts differently to the words coming out of his mouth until the very end. Meanwhile, like Ichimonji from the very beginning, even during their duel, he's just like, "You're using your proper moves, yeah," and just like gives him the Fonzie thumbs up. And I'm just like, I like this guy. This guy's good. This guy's great.
From the moment he's on screen, he just is like, "Yeah, I'm just that guy." It's great.
Shin Ultraman main character was in the movie too, right? Yes, he was Taki. He was one of the government agents. And also, the main chick from Shin Ultraman, I forget what her name was in that film. She's her. It's her.
Scorp.
So yeah, the main chick that you saw get giant in Shin Ultraman was her. So yeah, like And it's also funny when you look back at like Shin Ultraman, because of course one of the characters in there was Black Sun. So it's just like, man, the overlap within these characters is just like all over the place.
I'm guessing he just has a bunch of actors he likes using.
Probably in terms of that. There are people saying that the pacing of the movie is too fast. Personally, that's what GOA says. I don't think that, and like I said, the reason that I don't think that is because after watching it the first time, I was like, oh, they're going Kill Bill vibes on here. Which, if you watch Kill Bill, it's very like fast paced when it comes to like all the different fights, with like a little bit of a break point in the middle before you get to like the proper ending fight in terms of that aspect. Which is why I feel like if you go in with that kind of mentality of something like a Kill Bill, then the movie hits all of the right notes at the right points, which is why I completely love the film and why I have to watch Kill Bill once again. Because I haven't seen Kill Bill in like over a decade now. I need to watch that film.
Yeah, I watch it every now and then when it's on TV.
Man, you still watch TV? What is that?
I need something to fall asleep to.
Yeah. Why don't you just watch YouTube? You do YouTube.
I watch documentaries on my phone when I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
How do you think I learn like random tidbits of information? I'm watching like biographies on folks.
Like I do watch stuff like that, but it's just like if I can't think of something to watch on YouTube, then I'll fall asleep with the TV on.
Yeah, it works. Let's see. The intense 5 minutes of camera shake at the end battle will forever be fast forwarded. Look, that final fight just should be fast forward in general, just from how mid it actually is. Like that final fight was just like he's out here doing the kabuki moves and like pushing them back in the beginning, and I'm like, okay, this is all right. But then like right after that, when they got that plan, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. People don't know what TV is. Someone is a 107 fact fan. You know, I used to watch those videos like years ago, and then I stopped watching them because I was just like, some of these facts are completely dumb. You're listing like writing credits and the staff and the voice actors, and I'm just like, you're just trying to check a box over here. That's dumb. A lot of rolling on the ground. Yes, absolutely a lot of rolling on the ground. And if you actually see the behind the scenes stuff, and I included it when I did my my Shin Kamen Rider review in there, because at the time, obviously, there was not a lot of footage outside of the trailers to get a hold of when it comes to the bit that I did in terms of the summary of the film, which just ended up being an Honest Trailers version of the film. So if you haven't seen my review of it, it literally, the recap is an Honest Trailers version, my attempt at an Honest Trailers version of Shin Kamen Rider. And yeah, the footage that I could get from the final scene, the majority of it came from the behind the scenes of them fighting, and you just see the rolling on the ground and all that stuff. I just had to do some zooming in to cut out the camera guys, but yeah, that was a bit weird, especially since the final fight, when they are like rolling on the ground, there's no impact sound effects, so it feels completely weightless.
You just hear like them flopping around on the floor.
Yeah, and them just talking. It's weird. It's a very weird fight in general, which is what didn't stick the landing when it came to that fight. Everything else though kind of helped it out, but that final fight just wasn't it. Until I saw Hongo die, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, what?" And then he got that suit at the end, and then he put on the helmet, and Hongo's in there. I was just like, that was it. That was the sequel bait I needed when it came to all that. I was just like, all right, so when's the next film coming? It's not. Oh, Ano's on break. He has nothing lined up. He doesn't know what. Oh, okay. All right.
Years.
By then, these actors will be too old to play the part.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that we run into with a lot of these films, is it takes them forever to greenlight sequels, or takes too long for them to come out with sequels, and then the actors just have aged
Yep.
out of their roles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Japan isn't like quick to do the sequels unless it's like those anime films that they've got planned on the back burner.
Yeah.
Because there's like a JoJo movie that they did, and it's set up for a sequel, and we never got it. Like the Diamond is Unbreakable movie.
It's a shame. It's a shame. And we get that with I feel Hollywood's more guilty of this than anything, just because it takes them so long to crank out a film. But then, even then, it's like, not getting into the Marvel stuff, but they're apparently planning a Young Avengers film with a lot of these actors and actresses that are currently already in their mid-20s. So that's going to come out when they're in their 30s. So
Did you see the Marvels trailer?
So I've not, but I'm like, if 30 is the new, like, Young Avengers, then shit.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Let's go. I feel like Hollywood, they just like to make a lot of remakes and like readaptations than sequels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even then, they'll be too quick to greenlight so many new films. But even then, like, delays happen, and that'll ruin all that stuff. Oh, is the Marvels trailer that painful?
Yes.
I'm not gonna watch it.
If you ever just react to the trailer, I swear to God, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, they made this a movie." It's that bad. It's pretty...
Should I watch that in the background?
Just do it. Just do it. You'll see it. You can talk about it right after.
Okay, you guys can chit chat on whatever the fuck you want while I pull up this trailer.
You've seen it, right, Deoxy?
I saw the first one a while ago. That might be it. I can't remember. I think I watched it once and I was like, oh, okay, I might not see this. But
23 hours ago.
Yeah.
9.2 million views. Shit.
Yeah.
There's other stuff at Comic-Con that they're dropping that I'm interested in. Like,
right.
we finally got a release date for Invincible Season 3. I mean, Season 2.
When is it?
November 3rd, early November.
I remember that the first trailer they did, they were just in the coffee shop, like, you'll get it at some point,
Yeah. Because they dropped the poster saying new episodes soon. And then, November 3rd, because they'll be on a Friday when they drop stuff on streaming. So, like, within near, like, the end of the year. So that's really cool.
You read Invincible, right?
I have not read it. I watched the show because as soon as I watched the show, I was like, I want to read the comics. Comics are hot right now. Those prices for those omnibuses have gone like high up there because there's the hardcover, there's the trade backs, like so freaking expensive. I would like to read the comics because I read the Walking Dead comics and I really enjoyed them, and it's done by the same guy. Yeah. Oh no, I'll probably get them digitally later down the line.
Because they're really good. Really.
Yeah. But I am enjoying the show because I feel like if it's going to get too different, then I don't know. I don't want to, because it's like with Walking Dead. I made it up to Negan in the comics, and then I set myself up really high for Negan, and Negan was great in the show with the performance that Jeffrey Dean Morgan did. But then when like later on, like the show sort of like I drifted away from it. Someone said new Armor Core and MK1 trailer dropped. I've not watched those trailers. Armor Core, Armor Core. I want to go in blind. I know who the guest roster is for MK1, which was leaked a while ago, which is Peacemaker, Omni-Man, and Homelander.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I hope that means we're gonna get a new boys season soon. I'm very excited. I love that show.
I don't know if are they working on like season 4 for the boys?
I would hope
I don't
so.
know. Well, there's a strike going on, so they're probably not working on it, but I don't know.
It might not be greenlit. I know there's a couple things that they've greenlit so far because they're not part of the people.
Yeah.
The thing, but it's kind of crazy.
Didn't they jokingly so they want to like greenlit those I'll say it and say
I'm out. I'm out on that.
You saw the trailer?
Yeah, I was watching it while you guys were talking. Yeah. Oh my god.
I was looking at your facial expressions like, yep, this is what I was going through when I saw it. You got to the end when they were like higher, further, faster.
Mark is talking about the Massiverse. I have not seen it. Like I have not seen the announcement. I know that Inferno Girl Red's getting a book too. There's a Kickstarter for that. If they're showing off panels for like stuff going in Radiant Black, I kind of want to go in blind because I just read issue 25 of Radiant Black and I really enjoyed it. But yeah.
All right, so God,
Yeah,
I don't know if it. Yeah, it's bad. Like, I don't want to start like dipping into like the mainstream like shit, since of course like Toku's very niche in general. But I'm just like, God, I think that we need like a good 5-year break from superhero films when it comes to like Disney and
it's so
and like DC and stuff. Just stop, regroup, recollect yourself.
So burnt out.
And what you got, just and what you got. Start fresh. Because this ain't it. This ain't it.
Mark's putting up a video apparently about the Massiverse card game soon.
Oh, I saw it on Twitter. I thought that was just something they're giving away at San Diego. That's pretty cool. It's going to get a card game.
Oh, that's nice.
If they say animated series for like Radiant Black, I will cream my pants.
I want an animated series for Radiant Black. That it was
yes.
pretty good.
I will cream my pants.
Oh my god! I'm not gonna lie. I thought Mark was overhyping it, but when I dipped into the comics, they got me. They were really
Kyle's really good at storytelling. Same with Ryan with Rogue Sun right now.
really
I haven't read Dead Lucky by Melissa. I'm going to jump into it soon because I'll probably have to catch up soon.
I see.
Hollywood strike is a great time to cancel most things. The movie's been done. I don't think they can cancel it. I mean, if you've seen like the state of some superhero movies, they ain't doing so hot. Only some of them made money.
Yeah, I thought Guardians 3 was going to be their big recoup, but even then, that didn't.
I think because they knew that Gunn was leaving, that's why it wouldn't recoup. Because it's just like, well, you just lost the guy that did this film, so
yeah.
And even then, when it comes to like DC, it's like since they announced that they're rebooting everything, no one's really hyped for Blue Beetle because they're not expecting it to tie into anything. And
I've heard it does. I've heard it does.
The thing is, just like it was already made before Gunn was brought on board.
Yeah,
he's only saying it probably because he also said that the Flash movie was like 10 out of 10 and the best superhero film he ever saw. And we saw how that went.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, he's currently getting paychecks, so he's got to say what he's got to say.
Yeah, gotta hype everyone up. Hype up all the people on.
Although the Blue Beetle movie does look
Aquaman 2 coming out this year. We haven't seen a single thing.
Oh fuck!
This year.
I keep forgetting about Aquaman.
It does come out this year. Oh, God.
Yes, it's scheduled to come out this year. We don't know shit about it at this point. Stop it. Don't even show us a trailer. Just say it's canceled. If you show us a trailer, then then you gotta put it out in a sense. But
is there a reason why they haven't been promoting it at the strike? Because if it's been done for a while, is it like the Amber Heard shit? Possibly.
No,
I don't know.
I doubt that because they even said that she's barely in the movie, and they they said it was so easy because they said it's essentially a buddy comedy film is how they described it. So. Yeah, at that point in time, I'm just like, just stop. I mean, writer strike affects a lot of shows and a lot of films in a lot of ways. Hell, that's how Heroes got fucked up. I loved Heroes.
Oh yeah,
and then the writer strike happened.
I haven't gone back and watched Heroes.
Man, that first season was.
Here's a tomorrow.
I think I remember watching Heroes season 1 when it aired on Australian TV. Would it like come on like late at night? Lost, I want to go back and watch because I was too young when I was like teens, not good at grasping like storytelling when Lost was coming out. So I didn't follow it too much, but I would love to go back and watch Lost, but I kind of know what the ending is. So that might ruin it for me.
When will the strike last? Well, it varies depending on what.
If they have to come to an agreement
like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this writer strike is only really affecting Western media, so it doesn't. Mostly Hollywood in terms of that front.
Japan give no fucks.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's funny. So what happened the last time we had a major writer strike is a reality show resurgence because, of course, they don't need writing staff for reality shows.
Oh, God.
So the thing is, I wasn't planning on talking on this, but I just thought of it. On the Discord server the other day, we were talking about like reality shows. And I was like, man, if Japan went on a writer strike, the next Sentai season should be like a Toshiki Noe Sentai to find out who's going to become the next head writer. They're all Toshiki Noe's children. And they're duking it out for the title of head writer, like Last Ninja and Nin Ninja. But they're duking it out for head writer. Whoever wins the competition at the end of that season gets to write the next main Sentai show. And there we go.
Great.
Toei, I just gave you an idea for
That's
a whole
insane.
Sentai season and then the season right after.
I feel like that to be something on public Japanese television first, and then maybe a Sentai.
Yeah, but it literally, they're like the writers are all Sentai in their own right, but each week they're dealing with tasks thrown at them by Inoue.
Yeah.
So he's technically the villain and the mentor at the same time.
It's Inoue. The task he's going to present to them is going to be something so abstract and complicated, even they won't understand.
That it's going to be great. It's going to be great television. Like, I can't even think of how I would review it. It would just be like, I would literally just have to react to those episodes because reality show. So, hey, it's good stuff. Anyway, anything else before we close out the night? We are closing in on the 3-hour mark, but of course, these episodes of Superhero Time were very quick because they were mostly fights. So, yeah. So, nothing else from anybody?
No.
All right. So, Ash, where can people find you and what you got to promote?
You can find me over at Deoxy360 on the YouTubes and the other social medias. I've got videos coming out. We've got the prelude to Darkest Hour and the Power Ranger comics. I've read my advanced copy. Shit is going down. Watch my Shin Kamen Rider review. It's flopping like that final fight scene in the movie. Please go watch it.
All right. And Cloudy, what you got to talk about if you're going to unmute yourself for a hot second or not? Let's find out. Because he's currently muted, guys. He's currently muted. Probably
We can
a
unmute
lot
him.
of
We've got that
background.
power.
Do we get the power to unmute him like that? Oh, I do. I can just unmute him. But then he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
man. Well, we probably has to. Okay, Cloudy, what you got to promote? He doesn't
Thank
realize
you.
that I muted him. Doesn't realize.
Maybe
that
we should mute him.
Let me mute him before he realizes.
No, it's okay. I know I was unmuted. I
Okay,
think it's some
great.
water. It was fucking
Whoa.
hot in my room.
I'm like, God, you were giving us some ASMR treatment out here. Just
Sorry,
Yeah.
you know how freaking hot it is in here.
how high is it where you live? Because look, I'm in the south. You're in the north.
Okay, let me look up the exact temperature right now, but it is sweltering. Okay, it is. It's 71.
It is 91 degrees where I live,
Fucking 91 for you. Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
and it's
I don't-
nighttime.
I don't deal well with the heat, though.
Neither do I. You see all this hair?
I know. You see if you could see my hair, bros, it's curly and a mess.
There's a reason why I wear these shirts all the time. People wonder, why are you trying to wear those shirts? Are you just trying to shop? Nah, it's fucking hot.
I'm not even
hot.
wearing a shirt right now.
So, well, it's okay. OBS can't let us see that. But yeah, what do you got to promote besides hydrating yourself too?
Besides promoting water, at some point within the next 2 weeks, please watch Cydric Sar's Roar video, because yours truly, Zio, will be in there as well. I will be there, and I forced several people on the server to also be there.
And yes, I did put in a massive bit in there. It's like a minute 16 seconds long, and I will say I introduce a whole new persona that none of y'all have ever seen before.
You won't see it coming.
You won't see it coming. It's literally in that video. So if you want deepest lore and a new persona that you have not seen before, it's going to be in that video.
Oh, also, sometime later this week, I will be putting a video out on a channel that has yet to be named. Ugh.
Oh yeah,
I'm
because
still working. We're workshopping it. Okay. Listen.
yeah, the names you came up with so far don't. Yeah.
Hey, listen. Your name wasn't that great either, was?
Hey, I was just shooting shit while I was busy working. So,
That's fair.
So hey, just throwing shots in the dark.
Hey, listen. We can't all make Deoxy 360 or Zio Akito.
Look, you can't say that about Ash. Has been cooking for like a decade now. He's been making videos for like 10 years.
I am. I'm giving him a compliment. Great. Those are good names.
Thank you.
And mine, I forget how I came up with this name.
How did you come up with it anyway?
I don't remember.
No,
It's been so
maybe
long.
you'll remember after snorting the Zio crystals.
I will have to remember after snorting some Zeo crystals. Something like that.
Oh.
It'll all have to happen. Someday.
Mm.
Anyway, what I got to promote is, I guess, the Discord server, and go check out the Shin Ultraman video. And of course, I've been having a lot of people send me
Kamen Rider.
yes, Shin Kamen Rider. I've been having a lot of people send me clips of other people do edits on Kamen Rider Gyago's debut with the Time Fire theme, and I'm like, did y'all miss that I made a whole YouTube short that I dedicated like 4 hours into to do it, to try to replicate Time Fire's debut in Time Ranger? What? So yeah, there is a YouTube short that I made of Gyago's debut, which I went through the effort of actually like trying to redo the lines on Time Fire's head and things like that for the helmet and the lightning effects and all that stuff. All of that was like
3 hours.
Did that. Yes. That took a while to do. And it's there. And also for people that didn't realize that Time Daddy was Time Fire, what's wrong with you? I've been making this joke literally since his debut. I literally got comments in the latest video going like, I just now realized that Kosei was Naoto. It's like,
If they've ever seen you stream it, on Toku Rewrite, every time he comes into play, he's just Time Fire.
it's
Every
like,
time.
where have y'all been at? Where have y'all been at?
I'm pretty
Like
sure you do it in your videos too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I'm like, that's the bit. There's a reason why I play the, like, you should have realized, like, why does he keep playing Time Fire every time this guy comes on? I don't know. It's probably just Zio being weird. Nothing related to anything at all.
Wait,
It's like,
he's Time Fire Zio. Oh my god.
there it is. There it is. Okay, whatever. So yeah, that's what I got to promote. There's a moth flying around me.
Oh my god.
Well, hopefully it's not Ichiro. He's a butterfly. He's not a moth, so it's all right. You know who is a moth? Inazuman. Once we get that in shit, and we got another. I was literally about to end it, but then Bird of the End. Let's remember Takeru is in Shin Kamen. Well, yes. If you watch the live stream, besides him obviously voicing J and K with his perfect English, I fucking died every time he said an English word. Like, just speaking Japanese and just be like, Tasku. I'd be like, oh, it's like, oh my god. Shit, it's there. He said it. He said English. I fucking died. And then, of course, you see him in a body bag. That's also a thing as well. You see
He's
the
smiling.
actual actor in a body bag that I did not catch in my first or second viewing of the film, but I definitely realized it once we were watching it on the live stream last night, which if you want to, the VOD is up on Twitch, so you can go ahead and catch that. So yeah, as Cloudy dies from heat and Ash is in the opposite direction in the cold of Australia.
I would take the cold over this any day of the week.
Yeah,
And it's not
I'm
too
definitely a
cold.
cold guy over heat. So as much as I like fire, I don't like the actual heat all around me, especially humidity, because it takes forever just to get this hair ready to be camera ready or just to be outdoor ready, even though the humidity will fuck that up. So yeah, there's all that. Anyway, I guess that's it. We will catch you all next week with whatever news we got that time. Bye.